Game 4 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals between the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Last game was the Bruins beating the Leafs by a 4-2 score to take a 2-1 series lead. And now this is a pivotal game. What's of note is that we're seeing the return of William Nylander, who missed the first 3 games of the series because of migraines. Now he is back. The migraines are the reason why he's wearing the tinted visor. He addressed the issue about bright lights, and it turns out EBS stepped away for a moment, and they're doing Charles Barkley dirty as we speak. Shaq Hyman is also there. Oh my goodness. Well, it's never too late to give someone an April Fool's prank. Well, he all stepped away for a moment, and now we get back at the Charles Barkley getting sprayed. Oh, TBS never fails to impress. This is truly one of the best entertainment forms here. And now we get back into this cast. Hello, everyone. After that laugh, I'm Alec. I hope you enjoyed Charles Barkley getting sprayed right up in front of national television by the TBS crew. Paul Bissonnette was also there. And the Leafs, they held an optional skate before Game 4 tonight. Some takeaways are Austin Matthews skating at Scotiabank Arena. He was battling an illness and missed practice yesterday. Returned to the ice for an optional skate after he was unavailable for yesterday's practice while he gets over the illness. Ilya Lyubushkin also returned to the ice after returning to California for a few days to welcome his new daughter into the world. Congratulations. They've used Nick Robertson and Connor Dewar as placeholders for Matthews between Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi. And pretty clearly that indicates that Sheldon Keefe has no interest in breaking up his top line and reuniting Matthews with Marner. As for Lyubushkin, he'll be back with Morgan Riley tonight as well, and Tiffany Liljegren with Joe Edmondson as a placeholder for him in the past couple days. Liljegren and Lyubushkin could be the players sitting, and it'll be understandable. You could put Simon Benoit and Joe Edmondson in that consideration as well, but given Sheldon Keefe has been purposeful in putting Edmondson with Brody, but the health stats between difference, it's a good enough reason for sitting Liljegren over the others. All throughout. So now we get to the Bruins and Leafs previews. Brad Marchand, he's someone who can show up for the playoffs, and this year is no exception. He and Jake DeBrusk lead the team in scoring with 6 and 5 points, respectively, and David Pastrnak is always a threat to light the lamp up with 47 red lights on the season. Along with that, Charlie McAvoy is not just a force on the blue line, but he can chip in on the score sheet, averaging a point per game. They each have played similarly in 5-on-5 this series. Of the 16 teams in the playoffs, the Bruins are 9th in expected goals at 49.05 expected goals for percentage, and the defense hasn't shown up well with a 3.77 expected goals against per 60. And the power play is humming like no other. 5 times out of 10 opportunities, they have lit the lamp. And not only that, but the penalty kill is also stifling, stopping 10 out of 11 tries. The million-dollar question, who does Jim Montgomery roll in with goal tonight? Jeremy Swayman is a hot hand and even expressed interest in playing. But Montgomery is interested in alternating between him and Linus Ullmark, which is the recipe for success. Ullmark is no slouch. He stopped 31 of 34 shots in Game 2, but there's more confidence in Swayman heading into tonight. On through their previews on tonight. So the Bruins and Leafs getting a staggered all-day lineup of playoff action, following the Islanders staying alive in double overtime, scoring in the 2nd minute of the 5th period. Panthers and Lightning, that series is also extended to a Game 5. And Stars and Golden Knights is the final game on the playoff slate. And this may be ending up of a will he, won't he intrigue, but all signs point to Nylander making his series debut. He's best known as Pasternak's friend, and Nylander was the normal participant on Friday in practice. It'll likely change at some point soon enough, but it's interesting to note the Leafs don't have anyone who scored twice in this series. If you told anyone watching the series going into Game 4 that Trent Frederick would have more goals than Austin Matthews, they would have, I don't know. I'm not sure if anyone can find something about Brad Marchand getting called for a penalty, but if you can, well, go ahead. Sheldon Keefe has reached deep into Craig Berube playbook after Game 3, but hopefully the refs, if anyone is a Boston fan, that they don't take the bait. Danton Heinen didn't take the practice, but his absence appears just to be for rest or maintenance and not due to injury. While it will be tempting to leave things alone, it's a curious decision to see if Jim Montgomery will elect to make any lineup changes, which is the case. We'll get to that later. Matt Grizzard could drop back in. Jacob Blocko could return. Who knows, per the status quo. And here, Mitch Marner versus the World, that may be in full effect. The range and polarity of the Leafs fan base invites a wide range of takes all throughout the NHL world, some of which are just all the dreary product of an ecosystem or in vitriol and hyperbole fused together. In the eyes of bad faith fiction, Marner may not be working hard enough, or he's taking bad routes to the puck to purposely avoid contact, or he's not generating enough offense as a top-tier playmaker. The facts give way to frustration this time of the year. Marner, more so than any other Leaf, is innately aware of the criticism that surrounds him and each and every one of his teammates. He hasn't been good enough in the series, not for a player of his caliber. If he are to cap the likes of view hockey for the prism of capology, he hasn't produced a level commensurate to his salary. Feels like 20 on 1 from his vantage point. He has every opportunity to silence his doubters for good. The Matthews-Marner era is essentially hanging on the balance on the night. He is generating only 1 point in 3 games. A seeing eye pass to Matt Nye to open the scoring in Game 3. He's been better offensively than given credit for, generating 4 rebounds for the series. He's looking for his teammates, and he's had to operate as David Pasternak's primary defender, largely keeping Boston's best player in check. The idea that he doesn't care enough as a narrative, as a strain, it's just generated out of most likely hate for the Leafs. He's been destined to play in the NHL since he was a teenager. He's wanted to lead the Leafs to a Stanley Cup since he's been able to take the skates. You can criticize him for the lack of offensive production, if anyone wants to be accurate, for his dreadful showing on the penalty kill, but the idea that he doesn't care is bogus. They've had enough data points to analyze the game meaningfully in 2024. It's ridiculous to resort to this type of shock jock analysis in the center of the hockey world. William Nylander is expected to return to the lineup, providing the Leafs a necessary offensive boost. He registered 98 points in the regular season, but it's hard to project how he'll fare dealing with a migraine. Matthews has lived up to his end of the bargain as the most dangerous man for the Leafs on the ice. Then again, he has 69 goals on the year, one shy of 70, in which he does have 70 goals in total. Continuing to be one of the league's most dynamic players, 3 points in 3 playoff games, so he has to be producing at more than a point per game to lead the Leafs to victory. What's interesting is that he shares the team lead in points with Max Domi. Nylander's return is going to be very important. Toronto will need him since Mitch Marner has not had himself a productive playoffs. Usually this is a dominant 5-on-5 team. The Leafs have been underwhelming in the playoffs with 50.95 expected goals for percentage. Not only that, but they're 12th defensively for 3.63 expected goal against per 60. As mentioned, the Bruins have done a wonderful job at stopping the power play. The absence of Nylander may be the reason for that, as Toronto scored 24% of the time during the season. Similarly, the PK has been bad thus far, but this is not a dominant group. Ilya Samsonov's case is bipolar, going up and down. He may be lights out on one game, and another night he's just letting in clunkers. Not exactly a Mr. Reliable goaltender. 895 save percentage, negative .2 goals saved above expectations. And these playoffs align with his regular season contributions as well. The Boston Bruins starting lineups. We'll get to that later on, as we have to go through something else. It's with our utmost, deepest hearts that we announced that Bob Cole has passed away at the age of 90 just a few days ago. He dies peacefully in his home at Newfoundland and Labrador. He has been one of the best broadcasters in the sport of ice hockey, calling countless games for Hockey Night in Canada in his tremendous run all the way from the 70s to 2019. He's been the voice of Canadian ice hockey, and has been the voice of many legendary games. Doug Gilmour's wraparound game, the Calgary Flames going to the Stanley Cup Final in 2004, the 7-game fight between the Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes, Todd Marchant on the breakaway, Curtis Joseph on the save. The Leafs upsetting the Detroit Red Wings in Game 7 in 93. 1996, Steve Yzerman's overtime winner in the second OT against the St. Louis Blues. And many more. He has voiced thousands of games in the National Hockey League. And it's been the famous broadcaster all around Canada, and Sportsnet's and CBC's most successful. And so we say, go in peace, Bob. Your iconic voice will live on in our hearts forever, all throughout immortality. Now we go on to the starting lineups, starting with the Boston Bruins, who lead the series 2-1. And their top four line, Jake DeBrusk, Pavel Zacha, David Pastrnak to start things off, Brad Marchand, Charlie Coyle, Morgan Geekie on the second line, James Van Riemsdyk, Trent Frederick, and Danton Heinen on the third line, Johnny Beecher, Jesper Boquist, and Pat Maroon to round it out on the fourth line. Defensive pairings start with Mason Lohrei with Charlie McAvoy, Hampus Lindholm with Brandon Carlo, that's the top four, Parker Wotherspoon, and Kevin Shattenkirk to round it out. Jeremy Swayman is projected to get the starting job. On the night here for Boston, he was the first one out of the tunnel. Linus Ullmark ready to back him up. Brandon Bussey is the emergency backup, the third goaltender on this taxi squad. Healthy scratches are Jacob Lauko, Matt Grzelcyk, and Derek Forbort. Injured players are Justin Brazeau and Andrew Peak. As for the Leafs, their starting lineups go with Tyler Bertuzzi, Austin Matthews, Max Domi on the top four line, Matt Nyes, John Tavares, Mitch Marner on the second line, Kyle Yarbrough, Pontus Holmberg, William Nylander on the third line, Nick Robertson, David Kempf, Ryan Reeves on the fourth line. Connor Dewar was taken off the lineup on the forecourt. Defensive pairing starting with Morgan Riley with Ilya Lyubushkin, then Simon Benoit, Jake McCabe on the second pairing, Joe Edmondson with TJ Brody to round it out. Timothy Liljegren taking off the lineup. Brody making his series debut. Samsonov is going to be the starter tonight. Joseph Woll will back him up. Healthy scratches, Dewar, Liljegren, Noah Gregor, Connor Timmins, Mark Giordano, Cade Weber. Martin Jones is the third goaltender on this lineup, the emergency backup. Bobby McMahon is the injured Leaf for them. So in just a moment, we'll have everyone out there onto the ice to start this game. So as we're taking a look around, well, we've seen some thrilling finishes. Our first ever double overtime game of the playoffs earlier on the day. We'll go over that in just a moment. Plus, the Battle of Florida extended for one more game. Both games being pushed to 5. But so we have a sweep on the line here. That coming tomorrow when the New York Rangers face the Washington Capitals at Capital One Arena. The late game tonight, the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 3 of that series at T-Mobile Arena. The home of the Golden Knights, they are the defending Stanley Cup champions. The hardest task is always to repeat. It's even tougher to win 3 in a row. Lots of noise here among Leafs faithful. Everyone in Toronto watching, everyone in Boston watching. Swayman is in net for the Bruins. He was the first one out of the tunnel. In this series, he has stopped 63 of 66 Leafs shots. He is 5-3 in his playoff career, 5-0 against Toronto in his NHL career, regular season and playoffs. Samsonov has had some good moments throughout this series. The highlights and lowlights intertwine with one another, but he has stopped 77 of 86 shots from Boston. He has a 6-12 playoff record for his NHL career. 5-game series loss to the Boston Bruins when he was with the Washington Capitals. And a 6-game loss to the Florida Panthers, also with Washington in his last year with them. He was in the winning end of the Leafs playoff series win against the Tampa Bay Lightning that came just last season. 3 of those wins came in overtime for the Leafs. We're underway here in Toronto. Leafs Nation standing witness. Boston wanting the others to fear the bear. The Bruins cleared this one out. Is this going to be icing? No. Did not get there just before the goal line, but now he's a turnover as Charlie Coyle is in. It's with Marchand to start this off, just as Geeky was shoved towards the wall. Jim Montgomery shaking his wide heading into this game. This shot deflected wide. Held in by Lindholm. And down low is Coyle, the hometown boy from Weymouth. At the near corner, checked away by Matthews on the stick. Back this goes over to Riley, who cycles this around. Domi, son of Ty Domi, who used to play for the Leafs. Entry pass over to Bertuzzi at the right wing and sent inside. Swayman sees someone over to the left side. That's Lindholm. Gave it away. Down inside come the Leafs. Just held in by Benoit. Checked away by DeBrusk. Tavares tried to play this inside, but the Bruins get this one out. All the way for McCabe, who's waiting. 5 left shot defensive for Toronto, with Liljegren off the lineup as this goes out of play. Brody swatting in. And the third pairing with Edmondson. Jim Montgomery with a 12-11 career playoff record, dating back to his first year as an NHL head coach with the Dallas Stars in 2018-19. Coming off a successful tenure with the Denver Pioneers in the NCAA. Second line out there for Toronto. First line out there for Boston. Tavares is tossed out. Marner will take his place. And Zacha when he's drawn, DeBrusk helping him out. Jake DeBrusk through the middle. Stick lifted several times. Marner tried to take this one away. Still loose. Now picked up by Nyes. Nyes moving his way for the right side. Splitting the gap. Far wall. Trying to cycle his way around McAvoy. Out is Tavares. Tried to back in on for Marner. This one turned away. And this pass just skipped over Marner's stick. Pasternak spun around by Edmondson, who tries to keep this one inside. It's up in the air several feet up. And then it falls down out the center. Oh, this might have been a takedown on the stick. And it was a poke check. It was a poke check by John Tavares. Boston tried to sell the contact. Good no call there. 1:40 into this game. Morgan Riley braced himself. This puck goes back over to the Boston end. Lohrei, first NHL player to be from the state of Louisiana. Shattenkirk sends it up for the near side. Heinen sends this one up. Sticked away by Toronto, but Frederick keeps this one in. Down at the near corner, Yarncroke trying to get this out. He does so. Skipped over Boston player. That's Woverspoon sending this backwards over to Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk sending this over to center ice. Skating this down the line is Frederick. Frederick will move this down over to the far wall. JVR. Back to the point is Shattenkirk from Woverspoon. Shattenkirk winds one up. And that's stopped by Samsonov. Back in the near corner. Tight shot. And Samsonov was right there to stop it. Toronto clears. Now pick this up over at the near side. Here's Nylander. Playoff debut. He falls down. Well, playoff debut this season. Ryan Reeves onto the ice as the fourth line gets out there. Connor Dewar healthy scratches. McCabe goes left side for Nick Roberts, who was bumped down to the fourth line. Entering tonight. McAvoy's taking this one away. Benoit jumping in to try and keep this in, but it skipped over to Beecher. Beecher moved this one up. This is a potential 2-on-1. Here's Maroon. Sliding down to block this pass off with Jake McCabe. Good defensive play. Camp moving this out over to center ice as he skates with it. And he sends this in over for the far wall. 3 minutes in. Swayman taps this one out dangerously onto traffic. But moving this up is Jesper Boquist. What's a near turnover for the far side. Maroon moves this one up. 61 in white. Toronto in the navy blue. The royal blue. DJ Brody sticked away. But Matthews picks this one up. 4-on-3 potentially. Matthews sends this one over to the far side. Now picked up by Lindholm as he tried to get it over to Carlo, but can't do so. Hops over to the point. Brody keeps this one in over deep. Boston braces himself for a hit. And now picked up back by Brandon Carlo. 16:25 left to go in the first period. Took a hop off a skate. And this is a too many men on the ice penalty. It seems like as Brad Marchand was moving in, Toronto originally thought it was a too many men on the ice penalty. And it looked like offside against Boston. Not sure. It was a recount by the bench. So the freeze frame showing 6 players on the ice. Hampus Lindholm was the extra man. So Lindholm was about to get onto the bench for a change, but it looks like the change is going to take place. There are already 6 guys on the ice. No call is being made. Now there is a call being made. It's a too many men on the ice penalty. They saw that on time, and now will give the Leafs their first power play. Morgan Geeky will be the one serving the penalty. Toronto had the 7th ranked power play in the regular season, but they are 1-for-11 this series. This unit's been struggling. They could use a goal right now, especially with Nylander back on the ice. Boston has a 7th ranked penalty kill in the regular season. They're in shorthanded. Quick shot that was turned away by Samsonov from Marchand. Marchand keeps this. Loose puck goes over to Coyle, shorthanded, still at the Toronto end. Down low this goes, recollected by Marchand. Can't do anything out of that as Nylander takes his one away. Swiped away as Coyle places one backwards. Bruins doing an excellent job playing keep away from Toronto as McAvoy sends it down the distance. First one too, this is Samsonov. Waits for the puck, he'll drop it backwards over to Riley. Pavel Zacho is waiting, indicates if he gets this one. It already took 40 seconds until the Leafs had the first touch on this power play. Matthews going tape to tape on the pass. Left side Tavares. Tavares closed off. Loose puck now picked up by Boston. They clear. Bruins now going for changes on their penalty kill unit. Riley will start up again. A minute as he laps on the power play. Marner now has this over to center. Pass to Logan off for Matthews. Left side for Tyler Bertuzzi. Drop pass over to Riley. Now right side for Nylander. Cross-ice pass down low. Marner. One-timer was fanned on by Bertuzzi as he missed it. Now pass over to the half wall near side. Marner closed out by Beecher. Another Bruin was there. That was Carlo. Still it's a loose stick. Or puck, I meant. As cleared all the way down the ice by Boston. Bertuzzi now with this puck as he drops it back over to McCabe. 30 seconds left to go on the power play. Coyle was in on McCabe, but not before the drop pass was made over to Robertson. Another drop pass. Trying to weave his way through was Domi. Was cleared away by Boston. And Toronto firing this back inside. Bertuzzi can't handle it. Here's Robertson. Tight shot was stopped by Swayman. Bertuzzi over to the far wall. Domi with 9. Domi fires it. That was wide. 5 seconds to go. This goes out onto center. And the power play ends. Toronto now 1-for-12 on the man advantage on this series. Jake McCabe flings his one around for the far side. Recollected by Carlo. Around for Wotherspoon. Pasternak had deflected away from his stick. Robertson can't finish. Back for Pasternak it goes to. Pasternak. He hasn't been relatively all that electric in this series. He has a goal though, but not to his usual over a point per game self, as he has been throughout the regular season. In this series, he has a goal and 2 assists, which is a point per game, but he has to start firing it more to average over a point per game. Deep into the Toronto zone, this goes to Edmondson. There was a Bruin in his way. Now deep this goes. Puck is up in the air off of Ryan Reeves. Pasternak recollects it. Flips it over down low at the slot. Edmondson there. Turned over to JVR. JVR looking in the far corner. Down low this goes to Jesper Boquist. Boquist keeping on his back end away from Brody. Now over to the left point for Lohrei. Lohrei fires it. Deflected. JVR whiffs on this shot. He fires wide. Shattenkirk keeps it in down low. Maroon tied up. Feet out in front. That was blocked away by David Kempf. Brody trying to clear this one out. He can't do so for this moment. Now it's down low. Rushing to the puck now is Matt Nyes. Twisting and turning away from this as he sends one down to Boston ice. Alright, up for Marchand. He's back on this ice. Some boos here for the Toronto crowd as they know what he can do. Marchand flips this one down low. Benoit recollects his own zone. More than 7 minutes deep. The boos not bothering Marchand. Marchand sends this inside. McCabe. Aside for Benoit. Benoit flanks his one forward, turned away by Marchand as he goes back with his puck with Coyle. Marchand, 2-on-2. Blocked up high by Benoit off a stick. And this goes out to play onto the netting. Clock stops at 12:33 in the first period. And high-paced action here early on here in Toronto, Ontario. We'll be right back in just a moment. back here in Toronto, and it feels like must-win territory for the Maple Leafs. They have not beaten Jeremy Swayman when he is starting in goal for the Bruins. Max Domi and Austin Matthews, a dynamic duo, and previously it was Ty Domi, Max's father. It was with Matt Sundin back in those days. The deepest the Leafs have gone ever since they last won a Stanley Cup was in 1967, was in the conference final. They lost in 7 games to the LA Kings in 1993. Doesn't come with controversy as Leafs fans thought that Wayne Gretzky high-stick Doug Gilmour. There's a loose stick on the ice as we are back in action. It's Charlie McAvoy over to his partner Lori. Cut away by Nyes, but it was just enough for it to be chopped forward. And the Bruins iced this, the intended pass over to David Pastrnak. Clock stops with 12:16. We get an offensive zone face-off. Simon Benoit heads to the bench. It's a nice spark that the Leafs had with inserting Domi onto the top line with Matthews and Bertuzzi. The both of them are on 1-year deals. Low-risk, high-reward contracts, as it's just 1 year. In the case if each of those seasons were overperformances. Charlie McAvoy is struck down. That's going to be an easy penalty all day. The official saw that the entire way. Mitch Marner is going to head to the box. Serve 2 for tripping. Kelly Sutherland and Pierre Lambert are our officials. Linesmen are Kyle Flemington and Steve Barton, who are working together again. Just sticking away in Boston, who has been electric on the power play thus far. They've converted 22.2% of their power plays in the regular season. Good for 14th as the Leafs clear immediately. However, the Bruins have converted 5 of 10 power plays in this series. As the series goes on, these two teams get more familiar with one another. Coyle moves over to DeBrusk. DeBrusk sticked away by Brody. Brody can't clear as DeBrusk keeps it. DeBrusk looks back to the point for McAvoy at the high slot. Tic-tac-toe to go. McAvoy fires this, deflected wide. Geeky now picks this up. Right over to the slot as goes Coyle. He'll fires this one wide from the right dot. McAvoy can't keep this, hops out to center. And he'll restart from his own zone. Fires this on to the entry pass over to Morgan Geeky. Shoved down by Joel Edmondson, helping him out though was Jake DeBrusk. But the Leafs were all over this. They clear it down the distance. Swayman playing this one out with 1:12 to go. Charlie McAvoy with this puck now. 1-on-1 battle assist dropped at. David Pastrnak leased away. Pastrnak over to the far side. Pastrnak cross-ice pass. This goes wide of Zacha. JVR keeps. McAvoy to Heinen. Heinen backboard McAvoy as he's being watched by Holmberg. Pastrnak is not seeing anything from the top of the left circle. McAvoy back with it. And around for Heinen this goes. Down low at the bumper. This is JVR closed off. Saving this is Pastrnak. Over to Heinen. Back for McAvoy. McAvoy back at the point. Heinen again. Now one more time for McAvoy. Pastrnak. The one-timer broken up by Nyes. And Nyes, seeing that he was getting slowed down from behind by Pastrnak, he decides to fire this a distance. Kevin Shattenkirk, the second unit defenseman out there on the ice, but he is part of this top unit. Cross-ice pass from Pastrnak over across. Now down deep is Shattenkirk. Wrist shot out in front. Samsonov shutting it down. Leafs have it, trying to clear. Stick lifted by Pastrnak. Kept in front. Chaos in front of the net. Kemp picks it up. Trying to backhand it out, and he does so. Power play is over. Fans waving their towels here at Scotiabank Arena. Trying to see the Leafs kill off more penalties like these. Hampus Lindholm fires this one down the side. And that's an icing in call against Boston. Exactly what the Leafs need as they want to get on the board first. Go Leafs, go chance here in Toronto. Shots 4-2. Exactly at the halfway mark of the first period. Zacha trying to outweigh Samsonov, but Samsonov anticipated that Zacha was going to fake him out. He did not buy onto the fake, with Samsonov getting the stick poke right on Zacha. And on cue, the goaltending that the Leafs need from Samsonov. Austin Matthews back on the ice. Faceoff is won by Johnny Beecher. Carlo moving this one around for the far wall. Puck poked away, Bruins slowed down, but they clear it. Pass was out to reach of Tyler Bertuzzi. Swayman's going to keep it to himself, seeing that Bertuzzi, his former teammate, sees that he was close to getting in tight. 9:46 to go here in this first period. As both teams will take a rest here for this next sequence, it seems. Well, we're not going away right now. Swayman wants to play every game. He's 5-0 against Toronto this season, regular season and playoffs. This is the right move for the Bruins here if they want to get this up forward. We're not taking a rest here. 9:46 to go, first period. Coyle this time wins the faceoff. Carlo moving around over to Lindholm. Lindholm firing this one deep. Up for the ice this goes. Will be recollected by Toronto with Morgan Rielly starting to rush. Rielly fires right side over to Lyubushkin and down deep. This one deflected inside. Foot race for the puck. Matthews be the first to it. Has Carlo on his tail. Puck battle behind the net. And free from no man's land over to Morgan Rielly. One-timer from Simon Benoit was deflected up high. Swept away by Boston. It goes up to Geeky. Trying to cross ice past Bertuzzi. Broke it up. Oh, he picked up by Benoit. And this could not be cleared out. Toronto grabs it. Gets it out to center ice. Now this one floated up onto the crowd with 9:04 left in the first period. No score here so far. And Toronto, both teams searching for the game's first goal. We'll be right back with you in just a moment. We're coming back on from the break. So this is a tough series, as both teams are saying, especially Sheldon Keefe as he's being interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Good to see him being honest and transparent with the reporters. Confident in his guys, as he should be, knowing that both teams can get the job done. William Nylander off the faceoff after Pontus Holmberg was tossed out. He wins it in Holmberg's place, but it's cleared down. Shattenkirk held it at his own blue line, getting this one out. Leafs reclaim it. Brody leading things up. Go to the far side. This one off of Wotherspoon's stick, and it looks like a penalty is going to go up against the Bruins. Joe Edmondson appeared to be knocked down, went on one knee. He's visibly upset. The Leafs are going back to the power play. Second of the night. Well, they scored the second power play goal of the series. As wipe off the power play, it's actually 2 minutes for roughing on both sides. Joe Edmondson and Patrick Maroon, as Edmondson shoved down Jesper Boquist, who was in the middle of this, and Maroon subsequently shoving down Edmondson. That cancels out the power play. I should have said that there was not going to be a power play, as both were in the midst of things. So we're going to have 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Edmondson and Maroon each in the box. Who knows if we're going to see a fight break out here. Face-off is at the outside of the Bruins zone. The Leafs taking it. If there's an advantage the Leafs will have, perhaps it's 4-on-4. Starting things up is Mitch Marner from his own zone. Pastrnak trying to swipe it away. Marner going cross-ice over to Riley. Riley down deep is Matthews. Trying to deflect it out front. Marner turned away by Swayman. The outstretched right pad of Jeremy Swayman stopping Mitch Marner from getting his first goal of this series. David Pastrnak dropping backwards. Pastrnak flipping this out in front. Down low in front. Between the legs. That doesn't go. So nobody was available right behind. So coming up empty-handed. He thought someone was there. He was expecting one of his teammates to be there. Pavel Zacha stick lifted the Leafs trying to take this puck away. That was TJ Brody closing off that passing lane. Drop pass behind. The free space up. TJ Brody trying to split the defense. Brody instead waits for help. Penalty is going to come up. This will be 4-on-3 for Toronto. Now it's 5-on-4 for the current moment. Nylander. This one went off the skates. Swayman touching up several times. Now we get the 4-on-3 call. Penalty arm is in the air. And now we'll have a 4-on-3 power play for Toronto. Brody faked the shots just as he was good skating. He anticipated the shot that was high sticking. Slashing, actually. So it's a slashing penalty against McAvoy, who will be sent over to the box. So he caught the hand of Brody when he was trying to fire the shot. Mason Lohrei, the young defenseman, trying to get too creative with this. Instead, the puck disagreed with him. Not a good penalty for McAvoy to take, and not a good move by Lohrei to take, knowing that nobody was right there trying to move it. Trying to between the legs fake, did not go his way. Coyle and Tavares on the faceoff. Coyle wins it. Carlo clears this one all the way out. 47 seconds till Edmondson and Maroon are out. Kerwin drag move by Mitch Marner as he's going inside. Now drops it back over to Austin Matthews is entering. Another drop pass. Nylander trying to bite the Bruins into a fake. Nylander waiting for room. Back for Marner. Matthews fakes the one-timer. Back for Marner. Tic-tac-toe to Nylander. Shot was picked off by Carlo. Nylander now getting this back. Nylander, he fires it. That was blocked up high enough out into the netting. Nice job by the Bruins, who are setting up and a triangle formation on this PK. The skill of the Leafs on the out as the Bruins are forcing them all the way onto the outside. Everything was crowded. Tavares and Coyle again. Faceoff is 1-2. Queen, and he went out to center. Coyle slowed down. It's a partial break. Charlie Coyle. Curl and drag. Stick is loose from Toronto. Is now picked it back up. And cleared all the way out to center where Boston has it. And this will be sent in. The Leafs will get this one back in their own zone. Now we go back to 5-on-4. Mitch Marner entering with this puck. Moves over left side for John Tavares. Tavares closed off. Clean lead by Carlo. Trying to keep this in. Matthews. Several pokes in by Tavares. It goes all the way out to Toronto's end. 50 left on the 5-on-4. Samsonov playing this one behind over to Riley. Morgan Riley setting this one up. And then another drop pass. Nick Robertson out there. Robertson fans on the pass. He'll have to retreat away from Jake DeBrusk. Robertson backhands it further over to Riley. Riley moves right side. Leafs trying to drop it back as Calle Yarncroke was closed off. And on the sweet pass, Robert Spoon trying to send this one around. And now it's a turnover. And now Yarncroke out in front. Bouncing puck over the right circle. Still is loose over to far corner. Held in by Domi. And then shot off. As a pass saved by Jeremy Swayman. Bertuzzi trying to keep this one. They went off of Heinen. Firing shot from a spin and turn from Nick Robertson. That was blocked off. The power play will run out. 1 for 14 are the Leafs on man advantage situations in the playoffs. Jake McCabe now picks this up. Simon Benoit moving it up through the far side. And moves around one more time as the Leafs try to enter the round. Loose puck. The shot for the point doesn't go. McCabe tried to pick this one back up. It's all the way back in the Toronto zone where Benoit picks it up. Board pass right behind Samsonov to McCabe and back across for Benoit. Deflected inside by Toronto on this dump in. First to it there is Shattenkirk right behind Swayman's crease. Far corners, Reeves and Lindholm going after this puck. The loose puck is up high and now picked up by Shattenkirk. At the far side, Danton Heinen moving this up. Race for the puck. Heinen is the first two there. David Camp poked this one away. Ryan Reeves trying to deflect this one through us. Off for JVR. He scores! Revenge for James Van Riemsdyk. First goal of Game 4. A dipsy doodle fake for James Van Riemsdyk as he was all alone at the right circle or the left circle. To Samsonov's right, so he got Samsonov to bite onto the fake. The puck came loose. Reeves tried to get this one out. It took a bounce off a Bruins player. Trying to go over to the middle of the ice. Instead, it finds Van Riemsdyk. Adjusted the backhand. And it fools Samsonov. Shifting over to the backhand. So he falls for another fake. Fourth shot for the Bruins. And it's gained 21st career playoff goal for JVR. Spending stints with the Philadelphia Flyers and Toronto Maple Leafs. An ex-Leaf playing against the Bruins in the playoffs. He's been on both sides of this rivalry now. Previously having played for the Leafs in the prior playoff series. Now this time, he's trying to black and gold. Leafs trying to get this one out. Kick down for the Bruins. Jesper Boquist turning around and firing. Samsonov under siege. He'll hold out with 4:30. He covers this one up as a post-whistle skirmish. Jesper Boquist and Pontus Holmberg in it. And now stop the action at 4:30. Patrick Maroon being the vocal presence on the fourth line for this Bruins team. And has been very noticeable in this first period. The move in front for JVR as he cleans it up and gets the Bruins on the board when we come back. Mason Lohrei generated that Bruins goal as he got a stick in the way. Ryan Reeves can't believe it, knowing that Lohrei was on his face. Boston Bruins generated that takeaway. The Toronto Maple Leafs now down early. Once again, see if Lohrei can get the assist. That's his first ever playoff point with Lohrei on the takeaway. There's two insertions for the Bruins on the lineup in Game 3 with Griswick and Lauko out. JVR and Lohrei in as the Bruins trying to get another one here. Down low right behind Samsonov. Benoit closed off. Bruins trying to get to it. It's Tavares picking this loose puck up. 4:15 on the period. Nice trying to get this one inside. Now it's John Tavares one-on-one. Curling drag move. Hampus Lindholm was there to block it off. It goes up into the safety netting. Face off to the right of Swayman. 5 shots apiece for both teams. Bruins have 1 in the net. Leafs trying to find their first red lamp in this game. In the meantime, in the NBA, we already have 3 final scores. The 4th one potentially tonight. 4:09 to go. Austin Matthews on the face-off. Mitch Marner helps him out. His shot is blocked in front. Swayman locates this loose puck. It's bouncing over to his left. And he locates it with his glove. They'll do this over again. Once again, over to left circle. Matthews and Coyle on the face-off dot one more time. Osme Coyle against a loose puck. Picking this one up one more time is Marner. Coyle is at his face, however. He drops back over to Carlo. Through the far boards, shoveled onto there. But the Leafs were all over this puck. They re-enter. Drop pass over to Bertuzzi. Tic-tac-toe. Marner can't control it, but it's saved inside by Matthews, who walks the point. Matthews' deep backhand was intercepted on that shot. Bruins trying to get this up through center, and it sticks on through there, over to Riley at the Leafs end. Morgan Geekie trying to poke this one away. Riley now back. Left side over to Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin closed off by Pavel Zacha. Loose puck now picked up by the Bruins, and we seem to have an offside on this play. They ruled an offside against Toronto, so do this over again in the neutral zone. The Bruins have allowed 50 goals in the first period, the fewest among any team in the NHL. Holmberg wins the faceoff, help from Nylander, walking the logo. Nylander on the entry, was closed off. Yarncrow firing this one around for the far boards. Getting shoved with Charlie McAvoy. He and Holmberg go down simultaneously. Out for Nylander, backhand shot. Swayman turned that one down. 3:13 to go first period. 6 shot on goal by Toronto. They have yet to solve Swayman. The Leafs have struggled to score goals throughout this game. It has not been since Game 4 against the Tampa Bay Lightning last year, in which they have scored more than 3 goals. That's a streak that is still active to this day of 10 consecutive games in which the Leafs have not scored more than 3 goals in the playoffs. Holmberg and Beecher on the faceoff dot. Holmberg wins it. It goes to Edmondson. Edmondson, double deflection, goes way wide of Swayman. It's one-handed out. This could be a 2-on-1 if the Bruins hurry. Tight checking by Holmberg. Bouncing puck over to the near corner. Hand off over to Frederick, who is right there. Brody closed off the lane. Brody trying to find someone. Still was tight. Heinen emerges with the puck away from Holmberg as he's trying to escape. Down low is Frederick. Surveying the lanes is Holmberg. Down low, this goes over to JVR. Poked away, and now this goes over to Edmondson. Joe Edmondson flips it out on his backhand. To center out, way past every Leaf. Shattenkirk will re-pick this up. Back to center over to Frederick. Sways his way past the Leaf. Max Domi picks it back up at his own end. Left side over to Riley. Morgan Riley sends it deep over to Bertuzzi. Braces himself for contact from Carlo. Swept away. Bouncing several times. Not out. Morgan Riley's deep shot. Fired wide. And there was no whistle there. Initially, the Leafs didn't hear it. Is that a hand pass, it seemed? They are calling a hand pass. So the faceoff is going to come out of the Bruins zone. So a shot block initially. 2:14 left in the first period. The combination of Austin Matthews and William Nylander combining for 109 goals in the regular season. Zach Hyman or Leon Draisaitl combined for 95 goals in the regular season. Hyman already has 6 in the playoffs with 3 games in the Edmonton Oilers first round series against the Los Angeles Kings. So we're back on the way. Lyubushkin sweeping this one around. It's actually the first straight time in which the Oilers and the Kings meet in the first round. The Oilers winning both of the previous series. 7 games in 22, 6 games in 23. This one sent on to Samsonov, who turned away with the pad. That was a shot from center ice. Toronto back with this left side over to Tavares. moving this one around, but it's turned away. Geeky moving inside. Chance with the Bruins. 2-on-1. Geeky curling drag. This one way above the net. Loose stick on the ice as we were near the Leafs bench. McAvoy from Lori bringing his back inside. Down low is DeBrusk at the near corner. Double teamed. One Bruin helping him out. That's Zacha. DeBrusk emerges on his own with this. Back out is McAvoy at the right point. This one stopped by Samsonov with 1:22 left in the first period. 6 shots aside. That's the 7th Bruins shot of this game. With the Panthers up 3-1 in their series against the Lightning, most likely the winner of this series will face the Florida Panthers in the second round, barring a successful 3-0 comeback from the Lightning. Only 4 teams have done so in Stanley Cup playoff history. The 1942 Maple Leafs, the 1975 Islanders, the 2010 Philadelphia Flyers, and the 2014 LA Kings. In fact, the 75 Islanders were the first team to force a Game 7 after being down 3-0 in a playoff series twice. Now it's glove down, and this one way offside as John Tavares jumped in front. 1:14 left to go in the first period. Nice. Tried to get the upper hand on the offensive chance. He located that puck. Per Sheldon Keefe, there's good veteran leadership on the Leafs locker room. John Tavares leading this way, the hometown boy from nearby Mississauga. Mitch Marner also there. Morgan Riley, longest tenured Leaf among the captains there. Last minute of the first period. Pavel Zacha with this puck as the Bruins are back with this possession. Can move up with this some more. It's deflected over to Jake McCabe. Near wall now picked up by Nylander. 50 left as Pasternak gets faked out by Nylander on the curl and drag. Sweet move, Dipsy Doodle. Nylander's inside. Now moved over to Carlo. Carlo going to look. This one fired directly to the benches. Goes off the boards. So it's not the way of game. For the way of game to happen, it has to go above the boards and out of play. Already 8.6 seconds left in the first period. If you're just joining us, the Boston Bruins lead 1-0 here in Game 4. The only goal being from James Van Riemsdyk, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, who is on the other end of this history. For the Leafs, suffering Game 7 losses in 2013, 2018, and 2019. Now he's with the Bruins, donning the black and gold. Leafs at the Bruins zone. Austin Matthews, stopped by Swayman. Tyler Bertuzzi got a stick in there. Simon Bedwell, a long drive. This one missed by a mile. 20 seconds left. Edmondson on the keep. It's going to be gloved down by Coyle. Gets this one out. And moving over to the Toronto zone is, well, I believe, it's Brad Marchand. Yes, it is Marchand. Down low is Hyden trying to move this one up. Toronto with potentially the last shot. Tyler Bertuzzi going to set this one aside. Max Domi trying to do it himself. This puck goes behind the goal line. He's not going to have enough time for a shot. And that'll end the first period. James Van Riemsdyk, the ex-Leaf, with the first goal of Game 4. That gets the Bruins up 1-0 here in Game 4. So coming up, it's the first intermission report. And we'll be back with you on this coverage. I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned. James Van Riemsdyk with his first goal since the bubble when he played for the Philadelphia Flyers back in the playoffs for the first time since that year. Now in a Boston Bruins uniform, the first playoff series he's playing with the Bruins, the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. The very team that he's played for in the 3 prior series between the Bruins and the Maple Leafs. The Leafs have lost all 3 of those series in 7 games, especially 2013. The Game 7 overtime where the Bruins came back from down 4-1 to win 5-4. Patrice Bergeron, the winner, at 6:05 of the first overtime. The last time that these two meet, that was 2019. Game 7 is what it took. 5-1 was the final score in that year. Once again with JVR in a Leafs uniform. This time JVR is in a Bruins uniform. There's no momentum that the Leafs were maneuvering for the first half of that period. They have to figure things out. They need to get the momentum going to slow the Bruins down. The Bruins are a tight checking team that they love to maneuver in Jim Montgomery's system. And I feel Montgomery's pressing more right buttons than wrong buttons this year, as opposed to last year's playoffs. I'm Alec Nava. This is the first intermission report. So Van Riemsdyk has the first goal of this game. Mason Lohrei, his first career playoff point, is an assist on Van Riemsdyk's goal. That came on the takeaway off the stick when he was checking away Ryan Reeves' intended pass to clear this one out. 4:51 left in the first period. JVR was down low in the slot as he got Samsonov to buy into the fake. And Samsonov was snake bitten by said fake, going forehand, backhand at the swat. The puck bouncing around off Lohrei, off the stick. Seeing that TJ Brody was on his left, knowing that AC Shaw on the backhand, did get it off on the backhand, adjusted, and when Dipsy Doodle between the legs of Samsonov on the 5-hole. The shot total 7-all between the Bruins and the Leafs after one period. The Leafs are the majority of the hits, 25-10. The faceoffs are 15 out of 22 in favor of Toronto. Blocked shots, however, 12-3 edge for the Bruins. So the Bruins are also 0-for-3, 0-for-1 on the power play. 0-for-2 are the Leafs on the power play. Takeaways 3-2 Leafs, giveaways Leafs 3, Bruins 2. So far. So final scores earlier in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Well, the New York Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning are still alive. I thought the Hurricanes Islanders series would go 5 games. It is going 5 games after Hurricanes winning that series. At the Panthers winning in 6 games in the Florida-Tampa series. So, starting things out, the first game. This is the first playoff game this year to go into double overtime. And for the Islanders, this is the time to strike. The Hurricanes have both of their goals on the man advantage. Seth Jarvis in the first period from Jake Gensel. Exactly 8 minutes in. Matt Barzal tying it up with his first goal at the playoffs. At 10-10 of the second period, Adam Pelech and Bo Horvat the assists. J.G. Pageau on the man advantage. Noah Dobson and Anders Lee on the power play. So that's the lone power play goal by Long Island. 1:38 into the third. Stefan Nason deflected Teuvo Teravainen's shot inside. Martin Necas had the other assist at the 14:08 mark of the third. That's also on the power play. No scoring in the first overtime. Second overtime. We do have another deflected goal. Matt Barzal tipped in Robert Bortuzzo's shot. It was a broken play as Freddie Anderson turned away the initial shot from Bo Horvat, and it came right back all the way to the deep point where Bortuzzo fired it. Barzal deflected it in, and that is all she wrote. Semyon Varlamov stopped 42 of 44 in the win. Freddie Anderson stopped 32 of 35. Good goaltending from both sides. And a much-deserved victory for Varlamov's Islanders. They'll go back down to Raleigh for Game 5 of this first-round series. Winners most likely playing the New York Rangers unless the Washington Capitals pull off the unthinkable. And has come back from down 3-0 to win the series in 7. The Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning is going to 5. 6-3, the final score at Amalie Arena, and the both scoring 3 goals in the first period. in 3 different ways. Steven Stamkos on the power play, Brandon Hagel shorthanded, and then Braden Point at even strength. Point and Hagel assist on Stamkos' power play marker, Victor Hedman on Hagel's shorthanded marker, Nikita Kucherov and Hedman on Point's marker. The Panthers scored all their goals in the second period, and 3 of the 4 total goals. Carter Verhaeghe, the ex-Bolt, a 2020 Stanley Cup champion with the Bolts. He had the goal that got the Panthers on the board. Matthew Tkachuk and Anton Lundell with the assists. Hagel scored again, his second of the game. Mikhail Sergachev, who is back for the first time since he had multiple fractures on his foot. And he is back indeed and making his presence felt. Anthony Cirelli had the other assist. Sergachev had the primary assist. Sam Reinhart from Brandon Montour and Matthew Tkachuk. Then Oliver Ekman-Larsson from Evan Rodriguez and Eetu Luostarinen to bring the Panthers within 1. In the third period, Steven Stamkos and Nick Paul wrapped it up. Stamkos on even strength from Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point. Nick Paul on the power play from Kucherov and Hedman. And the Lightning sending this back down to South Florida at Amalie Arena at the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. 6-3, the final score at Tampa Bay. This game going on still between the Bruins and the Maple Leafs in this first period. And as we speak, 3 final scores already. The Orlando Magic have secured the 4th straight home team victory of this series between them and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs took the first 2 games, the Magic took the next 2. And leading the way for the Magic is Franz Wagner with 34 points, 13 rebounds, is scoring by committee for Orlando, and they're showing it. But Wagner has been the star of the show. 12 points for Jalen Suggs, 11 for Wendell Carter Jr., 12 for Markelle Fultz with 4 rebounds. And leading the way on the assist boards, Paolo Banchero with 5 assists. 2 blocks as well to make up for Suggs' 7 turnovers. The final score 112-89. They've held the Cavs to 29 second half points after the Cavs, they accounted for 60 first half points. What a turnaround for Orlando as they were trailing 60-49 at halftime. They were all out in the second half. Jared Allen, 21 points with 9 rebounds. Evan Mobley, 14, 9, 3, 2, and 2. Donovan Mitchell at 18 points, but 7 of those points came on free throws. He went 5 of 14 shooting. 6 assists with 3 steals. Darius Garland, 14 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. And between the Thunder and the Pelicans, the Thunder 1 win away from sweeping the Pelicans. 106-85 the final score. 4 of the 5 starters with double digits, with 3 of them at north of 20 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals. Jalen Williams with 21, 9, and 5 with 2 steals. And Josh Giddey with 21, 8, and 6 with 1 steal. Chet Holmgren with 4 blocks, 8 rebounds as well. The Pelicans not getting much. 4 of their players with double digits, but all of them had less than 20. Brandon Ingram with 19, Herbert Jones with 15, CJ McCollum with 16, Trey Murphy with 10. Leading the way in the assist boards, McCollum with 7, but he has 6 turnovers. Coming right back to you at the second period, here, soon with you, in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I am Alec Nava. Be there soon. Maple Leaf Square. Wanting to get the second period underway at Toronto Skyline as well. CN Tower is right next to the Sky Dome, also known as Rogers Center, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays. And the MLB team that plays there, the Toronto Raptors, also play at the very venue that the Maple Leafs are playing right now, Scotiabank Arena. Toronto FC, another professional sports team, they play in the MLS. And there's also the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL, they play at BMO Field. BMO Field is set to host FIFA World Cup games in 2026. They're renovating the arena in anticipation for the FIFA World Cup. The Bruins have outscored Toronto 9-1 in the first period in this series. The JVR goal has boosted that. Second period set to go here. Leafs at their home royal blue uniforms, moving from left to right. Bruins at the white jerseys, black numbers, black sweatpants, moving from right to left, just like at TD Garden. We're underway here. Labushkin clears it, and the Leafs pick this one up, moving it on a side. Brandon Carlo gets as this one losing control, and Max Domi was pushed in front. Austin Matthews down low. Can't sneak this past Swayman. Bruins have it, trying to clear it out. Good keep by Bertuzzi. He's back inside. Pass Morgan Geekin onto left circle. Fires it, stopped by Swayman. Out in front, this puck goes towards. And it's still loose. There's a stick lift. Brandon Carlo trying to play keep away. It's now over at the near wall. It's shoveled all the way down for the ice. He iced it. It's too far for him. Riley of 1917, the period. Charlie Coyle, 25 goals and 60 points this season. Both are career highs. And what a season's been for him. Besting any of his previous career high totals. Would it be between him with the Bruins or the Minnesota Wild? Started his career in Minnesota, wearing the number 3. Not a conventional number for a forward, as number 3 will be more of a defenseman number. That number taken by John Klingberg last season for Minnesota. Jake McKay starting things up. Through the far wall, this gets deflected up onto the stands. One lucky fan is going to take that home. So the Boston Bruins, it's been noted about their record-setting season last season. Flamed out the first round, but they're looking to repeat history as what the 2020 Tampa Bay Lightning did and the 1997 Detroit Red Wings did. To an extent, also, the 2011 Bruins, there's a chance in front gets blocked off. But the Bruins, they wanted to repeat history as what the 2020 Lightning and 1997 Red Wings did, as Mason Lohrei fans on shot, and that is winning the Stanley Cup. And a backhand by Lohrei just missed the swat. Leafs pick it back up, out to center. Recollected now by John Tavares as he moves in for the far half wall. Tavares can't find anyone. Jake DeBrusk now picks it up. Over to the far side, now to center. DeBrusk, or I meant Zaka, David Pastrnak, long shot was turned away by Samsonov. A minute 45 into the second period. Both teams are changing. Nylander with speed, down for the near side. Nylander stops at the right circle, pivoting, spinning and turning. Around Heinen, now behind a tight angle shot, and it was loose, never got his mate to the net. JVR moving the other way. Flips it up over the heads, first to it is Frederick. At the near corner, brace himself for contact from Brody. Now moving in there was Edmondson, Heinen turning. Woverspoon over to Shattenkirk. Rushing there was one of the Leafs. Puck gets deflected up, now up for Jarnkrok as he moves it up through the far side of the ice. Jarnkrok had it poked away, now gets a shot away and was blocked off in front. Woverspoon will move it up. Sends it on to the far side over to Frederick. Now out in front, this bounced off the skate of Labushkin. Behind the net this goes. Riley rushing his puck. Pat Maroon was there. He was rushing over to this puck, coming in like a bulldozer. The puck was free, and it's now picked up by Nick Robertson. Stick lifted from behind by Maroon. Trying to find someone in front. Nobody was there. Swept away by Riley, but onto the stick of Beecher, who fires this up high. And over to the right point this goes, where it's held in by McAvoy. Back behind the net is Maroon. Over to Beecher. Once more time. Lohrei had trouble holding his head at the left point. Big collision by Ryan Reeves as he lights up this crowd as they're undefeated Toronto. Oh, baby. As a nod to the late Bob Cole, oh baby it is. Swayman had to turn away a tight shot previously, and a second one bounced off the skate of Austin Matthews. All the way back out to the Toronto end. More go Leafs go chance. Leafs are back inside. Here's a hard-hitting Domi over to Matthews. Fan on his shot. There was a defender in tight on his face. Fires it down low over to Domi as he intended to go. Taking over now is Carlo as he skates in and out over to center. Coyle slowed down the way he gets right by. Now it's entering fade over to inside, and Samsonov turned that shot away. Benoit is the first to the puck. Turned away, it's out to center ice. Far side, it's lifted inside from the Bruins bench. 16:05 remaining in the period. Jake McCabe is the first there, fighting off Marchand. Tavares gets knocked away. Kept in down low. Pass several Bruins. Zaka on the keep at the far wall. Brandon Carlo loads up. This fires wide. Winnow on the keep. Over to Pablo Zaka. Twisting and turning around Tavares. Puck knocked loose. Toronto trying to get to this, they do. It's McCabe. Right by Lindholm. It's now a foot race for the puck. McCabe is the first there. Around for the far wall. Still fighting for this puck. Zaka securing it. Not for long though. Now it's down low. Here's Mitch Marner. And the feet in front. That would have been nice. He comes up empty-handed on the pass. Now here come the Bruins. From DeBrus to Pastrnak. Edmondson broke that pass up. Pastrnak keeps it down low. On the feet in front. The centering field was knocked away by Brody. Nice. Now picked up. The U of Minnesota product. Nice to the right side to Marner. Marner double team. Finds it over cross ice. Holmberg can't secure it. McAvoy gets this one out. Knocked back inside. Whoever Spoon will rush to it. 5 minutes deep in the second period. 9 all are the shots. 1-0 to lead for the Bruins. Nylander braces himself. He recollects the puck. Securing it. Backhand pass over to the far side. The Leafs get back inside. And around the boards over to Yarncroke behind it. He braces himself. Hit from McAvoy. Yarncroke recollects. Left point. Leafs can't secure it. Lyubushkin. But can't secure it as he was out the ice. Now is Wotherspoon. Upper center. Left side for Heinen. Heinen. Cross-ice passes bouncing up for JVR. Shoved away by Lyubushkin. Kampf picks it back up. At the near corner, Riley gets this one out. Here's Nylander. Up for center. Nylander to the far side. Here's Lyubushkin. Going inside. Backhand shot. Swayman turns this one away. Nylander is down low. Source Lohrei trying to poke this puck away from no man's land. No movement there. The puck is stuck towards the wall. Lyubushkin, Nylander, Boquist, Lohrei there. Kampf also there. Now movement. Bruins have it. 3-on-2 now. Beecher trying to break free. He recollects this now behind the net. A stick poke from McCabe. No, it's a left point for Lohrei. Cross-ice pass. Here's a long shot. The wrister from Samsonov. A secured and some post-whistle words. Pat Maroon and Nick Robertson with one another as the referees immediately run to one another. It's a lot of throws here to start the second period. 1-0 to score. Bruins lead 1-0 still. Still some noise between both teams. Ryan Reeves made that noise of a heavy hit. Will we see some more noise? We'll be right back. The Bruins have scored half their goals on the man advantage. So far, they almost half of their goals on the man advantage. They have scored 5 of their 11. 5 on 5 shots. Toronto with a plus 13 advantage. High danger chances. Toronto with a plus 17 advantage. The key here, if you're the Leafs, do not put Boston on the power play, knowing that the Leafs have a subpar penalty kill. The Bruins have a solid power play. Leafs are 22nd in PK. Bruins power play at 14th. And the Leafs power plays at 7th. Bruins penalty kill at 7th place. Bruins win the face-off. Here's Lohrei for the left point. Down low this goes. The pass is broken up. McCabe was right there. Lifts this one out to center ice. Glove down by the rookie Lohrei. Marner tried to stick this one away. Nyes is there or towards the Bruins bench. Still it's a loose puck. Geeky tried to stick this one inside. Does not go any further than the Toronto blue line. Up the middle is Tavares. Right side Marner. Marner onto the point over to Tavares. Tavares through the lane. Swayman holding on to the left of his cage. At the side of the net as he secures it. 10-9 the shot advantage. This is green month. April is green month. Just remember, April 22nd was Earth Day. John Tavares gets a signal to come to the bench. So line changes for Toronto. Austin Matthews line back on the ice. He's going up against Pavel Zacha. Face-off is won by Matthews with help from his winger. A long shot is blocked in front. David Pastrnak blocked Riley's shot. Here's Marner. He's going to look. 15 block shot. And Pastrnak off the stick poke. He's going to go to center. Pastrnak is looking for a lane to pass to. Now he's over the near corner. He's shoved down low. And down go he and Ilya Lyubushkin as Pastrnak shoves down Lyubushkin. The stick is also broken. Pastrnak has to rush back for a new stick. Now he goes back on the attack. Zacha keeping this down and in. Samsonov can't handle. Pastrnak with a fresh new twig on the ice. And he gets knocked down again by Riley this time around. This time now at the far corner as both teams are going after this puck. Now it's Morgan Riley, it seems. Along the wall, he may be taking a penalty here. It's actually Max Domi. 2 for cross-checking. He's entered the battle as he visibly shoves Pastrnak from behind. That's the last thing that you want to do if you're the Leafs. Pastrnak has stick broken into chaos. At the shift, it looked like he had a target on his back. Several hits by Lyubushkin, Riley, and now the cross-check by Domi, which earns Domi a trip to the penalty box. Ty Domi is father watching onwards. Not the happiest of Leafs fans here in attendance. Remember that Domi is used to taking a lot of penalties as he is a grinder. Domi is another one of those grinders. Leafs clear off the face-off. David Kampf and winning it. So, second power play unit is out there on the ice. Marchand, DeBrusque, Coyle, Geeky, and McAvoy. The power play one has David Pastrnak, but it has Danton Heinen and Pat Maroon on it. Marchand can't center, held inside by Coyle. Twisting and turning on the pass. Joe Edmondson was the first to locate the puck. He fires this out. All the way down to Swayman. He'll leave behind over to McAvoy. That's killed off 33 seconds of power play time as McAvoy gets the drop pass out for Coyle, leading the way. Coyle onto the right side. This hops over Geeky stick for a while. Marchand curls and drags. His wrister went wide. Pastrnak dropping this one back. Marchand Pastrnak on the first power play unit. Hand off over to the right side. Pastrnak, a slap pass doesn't go his way. Bruins keep. It's Coyle. Back over to the point. McAvoy, one-timer, score! The 6-man advantage goal! Brad Marchand continuing this red-hot power play. 2-0. The shot block initially out in front. It's a hard-working Bruins shift. Charlie Coyle will drop it off over to Charlie McAvoy. After the shot blocked by the Leafs, Brad Marchand firing the one-timer at the bottom of the right circle. Just enough room to maneuver around as Marchand makes himself available. Going down low, he just had to stand there with enough time, buying himself that much time. Just right by gets the puck inside. And so the song and story may continue on. 6th away, Marchand did say 2 the Leafs that the series will be over in 5. Well, he wants to get that towards the direction. Leafs keep this down low. Makes his way to Swayman. He covers as he has his glove on his left. Max Domi appears to be visibly frustrated and is showing of his interactions. It is part of his game. This is his 56th playoff goal with the Bruins, which is a franchise record, passing the great Cam Neely. The Bruins have not scored, and so Marchand has not scored a power play goal for the majority of the regular season. Now Marchand getting on the board here. That's his 56th career playoff goal. It's passes Cam Neely, breaking that deadlock. 11-11 left to go in the second period. Bruins leading 2-0. Leafs need 2. Swayman trying to maintain the shutout. Moving around from near to far. Bruins can't clear. Is held in by Domi. Looking for deflection. This one was wild. Right in front was Bertuzzi. Made his way to Swayman, who covers up exactly 9 minutes into the second period. Well, there's a sign that says Marchand is scared of Max. Well, something says otherwise. Cam Neely is now the Boston Bruins team president. Don Sweeney, the general manager of this team. See, you got the call up over to the primary general manager position after the firing of Peter Chiarelli. Chiarelli won the Stanley Cup as the Bruins general manager in 2011 when Claude Julien was the head coach. Long shot went wide off the faceoff. Bruins rushed to their first big hit by McCabe as he was in on that collision. Geeky moving inside, shoved away by Tavares. And around this goes to the far side. Lori, double deflection down low. Leafs get this right back. Tavares can't get this one out. Oh! And the Leafs do a good job of forcing the offside. It's Marchand. Had it just right out of the neutral zone for a split second. And now we have a commotion here at center ice. Tavares and McAvoy, one on each other. And Marchand is skating away from the chaos. He's seen enough. He has the grin on his face. He knows the Bruins have the momentum in the series. He wants to end it in 5. Almost did so last year on the breakaway. And last game, Leafs fans were visibly upset knowing that there was no penalty on Marchand for what would have been a trip against him on Tyler Bertuzzi. He and Bertuzzi were teammates last year. Now enemies this year once again. Bertuzzi previously with the Detroit Red Wings. Marchand with 7 playoff points thus far. Leafs win the faceoff. It goes back for Edmondson. Deflected inside by Nick Robertson. Past the red line. Wotherspoon was the first there. Shattenkirk can't collect. Deflected up high over to the far corner. Tavares there, tapping this one backwards. Heinen on the hold. Loose stick on the ice. That belongs to Edmondson. So this stick is being ran over like a rented mule. TJ Brody, half wall near side. He spins and turns, trying to find an open lane. At the left point, Joe Edmondson fires this one way wide. Holding in is Brody. Was cut away by the Bruins. And back this goes over to Wotherspoon. Past the halfway mark of regulation. Bruins get this in. And this near corner as Samsonov gets this out over to Brody. Robertson at the half wall near side. Toronto firing down for the far side as they try to get some momentum. Can't do so now. Here come the Bruins. Bad Maroon brings it in. Johnny Beecher at the far corner. Trying to go back over to Maroon. Can't do so. It's Nylander picking this up. Swept away. Was quickly stick checked. Maroon trying to bring this one back. He does so over to Beecher at the near corner. He moves around for the net. Johnny Beecher. Back to the point. One-timer McAvoy. Was deflected wide. Makes his way over to Lori. Lori fires. Save! Samsonov. With 9:20 to go in the second period. More pushing and shoving afterwards. And so we'll get our next stoppage of play. 2-0 Bruins. Power play goal for Brad Marchand. Getting them up 2. With the 6th power play goal of the series for the Bruins. I'll be right back in just a moment. Jim Montgomery is 7-4 in the playoffs and road games in his coaching career. 2 of those wins came last year with the Boston Bruins, despite losing in the first round. And those other wins in 2019 on the road, games 1 and 5 with the Dallas Stars in that first round series. In the second round series, the wins on the road coming in games 2 and 5. Lost that series in game 7 in double overtime from one of the players that's now with Montgomery, Pat Maroon. Samsonov will lead this over to Riley as we're back underway here. Less than 10 minutes to go here in the second period. Now make that 9-0 free. Down inside, Tavares chasing after it. Beat out by Lohrei. Up for Zacha, this goes up to. Zacha trying to move around. Over to the left side, over to DeBrusque. Now a cross-ice pass over to top Pastrnak. Pastrnak fires it right on goal. Missed it. Zacha on the whole left point. Now low is Pastrnak as he shifts angles. He's taken down by Mitch Marner. And it looks like the Bruins wanted the penalty, but Pastrnak looked like he might have tried to draw that one intentionally on himself. Nothing there, no hand up in the air. 8:30 to go. Shots on goal, 12-11 Bruins. Been a low shooting contest here for 2 periods. Just remember, the Vancouver Canucks yesterday, the first team to win a playoff game with just 12 shots on goal since the Pittsburgh Penguins in Game 1 of the 2017 Stanley Cup Final. Swayman tried to get this one out. Bertuzzi held it in at the near corner. Now a shot from Matthews just fanned on. To the right side, Boston takes over now. Inside comes Marchand. Marchand, cross-ice pass, just missed. Max Domi will take this one up as he takes over. He's out with Tyler Bertuzzi. Fires this one in right by Lindholm. Slowed down, the loose puck picked up by Marchand. Marchand to the right for Geekie. Geekie fires this onto the Toronto zone. Samsonov playing this out over to Brody. DJ Brody loads up and backwards for Edmondson. Edmondson firing deep for Nylander. Nylander walking in. Down low is Holmberg. Pontus Holmberg gets closed off. Boston now takes over from behind their net. Now out in front. The puck is through center. Now handled by Edmondson with Heinen on his face. Around for TJ Brody. Nylander sets up in front for Holmberg. Holmberg backhands it in. Wolverspoon the first to this puck. Game kind of slowed down now. Not much action. Wolverspoon will ice it. The whistle blows as the puck bounces onto Lyubushkin. It looks like Max Domi was going to wait for Tyler Bertuzzi to get loose. 3 guys were back for Boston. At that end of the ice. They're squeezed out. Their players are also coming up for the ice with Domi and Bertuzzi. No burst of speed there. See if the game is open up. Here's Jake McCabe. Exchanges passes over to the left side. Waits. Now a drop pass over to Nylander. The pass was tipped in front. And around this goes over to the near corner. Jumping around. Half wall for Nylander. He pokes it forward. William Nylander. Forced to the outside at the near corner by Shattenkirk. Here's Jake McCabe. This goes wide to the left. And this one also deflected over to the right side. And out this goes. McCabe now back with this puck. 6:45. Nylander. Moving up through center. To the right side this goes to. Half wall near side. Deflected up. Wolverspoon there on Riley. Across for Shattenkirk. Matthews applying the big hit. Now deflected over to the right point. Boston's the first to this loose puck. Wolverspoon there. Now sends this one inside. Racing there is Geekie. Right behind the net. Stick tap by McCabe. Geekie back with it over the far side. Back to the point. Carlo cross over to Lindholm. Looking for deflection. Samsonov held it up with 6:18. Catching of his glove. Shot advantage. 13-11. Boston. The Stars are going to be up against the pressure. A must-win game for Dallas to stay alive here. They're down 2-0 in their series against the Golden Knights in a Western Conference Final rematch. So, as we got the insights on the first 17 games of the Stanley Cup playoffs at the intermission, that's what we'll be talking about soon enough. In 6 minutes of playing time. 6:10 to go. Pavel Zacha at the attacking end. Far corner, forced wide by Benoit. Back to the place, McAvoy. And pass in front. Pastrnak got pickpocketed. Toronto trying to chase after the loose puck. Can't do so for a split second. Now they move it up. Yarncroke inside. Face to the left side. That shot quickly stopped by Swayman, and he'll hold on for the whistle with 5:53 to go. And so we'll go to break here. Bruins holding on to a 2-0 lead. Toronto trying to chip right back in with 2 goals. Hasn't happened yet, but they could strike anytime soon. We'll be right back. The Toronto Maple Leafs have not beaten the Boston Bruins in a playoff series since 1959 and that year's Stanley Cup semifinals. That's a drought that has lasted for so long. As we're back underway, the Leafs have not won the Stanley Cup in 57 years, the longest active drought in NHL history. And they have not been back to the Stanley Cup final since the year they won it all. The 65-year drought against the Bruins and beating them in the playoff series seems to be an eternity that is lasting forever. And their one playoff series win since the lockout of 2005 is the lowest number among teams that have won a playoff series in NHL in this current iteration. Down low is Brandon Carlo off the faceoff with the Leafs trying to scoop this one up. Now up for the middle. Leafs take it back up. Domi back inside of it. It's Bertuzzi. He gets knocked down. Leafs fans are hoping for a penalty. None are called. This puck up in the air. Moved around off a high stick. Almost was, actually. Long stretch pass from Bertuzzi. Gloved down by Lindholm, intended for Domi. Lindholm gets it down low. Samsonov. Marchand was on his face. Almost was turned over. Didn't want to say the line there that Steve Dangle famously says. This one deflected inside. Swayman played this one over to the near half wall. Zacha there, Matthews also there, deflected up, Bertuzzi can't control. Carlo clears. And it's lifted up off the boards and back into the ice. So they have to signal for faceoff of 4:58. This year's playoffs have seen all the throws, all the action, and have come to expect from the greatest playoffs among North American professional sports. But for the first 17 games, there are also some lessons about each team. New information coming to light or confirmation for pre-playoff thoughts. There's been frustration here for the Leafs, even though it seemed like a tight series. The only win for the Leafs came in Game 3. Subsequently, that was also the only time the Leafs have led at any point against the Bruins this season. The Bruins have won all 4 matchups against the Maple Leafs in the regular season. Far wall moved up through the ice. Boston trying to move this one down. Matt Nyes was stick lifted. Now it goes all the way down the ice. Lohrei now picks it up. Lohrei moving away from all sorts of Leafs. And this one was kept onside just enough. John Tavares to the net. This one forced wide. Did not get the shot on goal. Nyes now back to the point. Evanson's long shot was blocked away. Now it's over to the far corner, held in. Tavares had this one knocked off. The Bruins moving back for the ice as Dick DeBrusque spun around and turning with this as he dumps it right behind Samsonov. Re-picked back up by Marner with 4:15 in the period. TJ Brody trying to backhand this through. Was closed off by Boquist. Back for Waterspoon. Chatting Kirk Boquist. Up for center. Who puts on a fake on Marner. Toronto gets us back out to center. Boston with it now. Moving up back with it is Boquist. Boquist twisting and turning at the top of the left circle. One-timer! Waterspoon! 90 miles an hour on the shot. That was blocked in front down low. Maroon. In his face is Holmberg. Maroon stick handling with this one. The pass intercepted by Edmondson. Trying to get some help. Knuckle puck over to Holmberg. Now back for Edmondson. 3:37 in the period. Line changes for both sides. Left side towards the far wall. Moving inside come the Leafs. But JVR saw that knocked away puck. Danton Heinen's long shot was blocked away by Brody. Down low is intercepted by Edmondson, but it goes back to the Leafs. After the Bruins tried to keep this one holding. Lindholm backwards to Carlo and down deep for JVR. McCabe gained the first to it, shoving away Frederick. Arriving there as well as Coyle. Trying to help out Frederick. Swept away by Brody. Away from the Bruins. Ryan Reeves back out. 3:01 to go. Down deep comes McAvoy as he picks this one up away from Robertson. Less than 3 minutes to go as Coyle flips it over to Samsonov, who'll hold it up. Seeing that Coyle was approaching him. 2:53 to go in the second period. The Bruins defense forcing the Leafs to the outside. And a stick check by McAvoy. And a hard shot by Edmondson back out of Tavares driving to the net. Charlie McAvoy with the stick right on the lane to prevent Tavares from getting a clean shot away. Joe Pavelski, 476 goals. John Tavares, 456. Zach Parise, 434. Those are the three players that are active right now with the most goals in the NHL without a Stanley Cup. Charlie Coyle taking out the face-off dot. He gets signaled for the false start. Morgan Geekie will take his place. Loose off the draw. It is Tavares winning it with help from Max Domi. Domi around. Up for Austin Matthews, or should I say him, taking this face-off. Bruins sweep this one away. Good defense. Excellent as well. Geekie down and around. Samsonov plays this one out. Leads it for McCabe. And around for Bertuzzi. Tyler Bertuzzi will start up to the far side. Now dropping it down around. Moving up is Bertuzzi down the middle. Now the right side. At the near wall, he gets closed off. Loose puck is up for grabs. Swept away by Boston. Now it's a foot race. Here's David Pastrnak trying to get loose. And all over this puck was Lyubushkin, who closed off Pastrnak on a possible breakout. On the tape-to-tape feed is John Tavares up high. This gets gloved down by Swayman with 2:09 in the second period. We'll see if those shots lead to anything for Toronto because there's been a whole bunch of nothing here. The low to high plays now working towards Toronto's favor. The Leafs are trying to find out what's going to work against this Boston team. They're defensively closed off throughout the season. But most of the time, the first two games or coast games, it's all Boston the last two games, at least in the regular season. The low win by Toronto, game 2 of this year's first round series. John Tavares at the right circle. He wins it. And around this goes Nylander there. Sheldon keeps shaking up the lines. And now Marner's turnaround shot. Swayman saw it. 2:03. Around the horn, cycling around Nylander to Marner as Marner went over to the left circle to fire this one up through a tight screen up front. Sees the lane, 15 shot for the Leafs. Need to get more. Nylander is at the left wing side. He's moved up to the second line. That drops down Matt Nice to the third line. 2 minutes ago, Riley fired this one around right by Nylander. Lyubushkin at the near corner. Tries to feed one up in front. Can't do so. Now is Johnny Beecher back the other way. 3-on-2. Left wing side over to Frederick. He moves in for Trent Frederick. That one was fought off. Off of Samsonov down deep. Off the outside the net. Fired out as the Bruins now back with control. Wotherspoon up front. Now over to Danton Heinen. 1:33 in the period. Fed up front for JVR. Close stop by Riley. Heinen tried to get this one back. Jumping on to play is Coyle. And this one back and forth between him and Heinen. Back at the point is Lindholm. Looking for a lane. Finds one that's blocked in front. Riley now on the other way as he moves up front. Morgan Riley lifts this one out. He was looking for the shot. Down low for Swayman. Does not get it. Face off back at the Toronto zone with 1:11 to go in the period. Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark split the opening game. Swayman got a stellar effort in game 1. He's turned away virtually everything. Game 3 was Swayman again, stealing the show. Linus Ullmark allowed 3 goals, but by no means was he doing anything wrong, as Swayman's been the upper hand among the 2 goaltenders. It's the first time starting the same goalie in back-to-back games since February 29th and 21st. 15 saves with Swayman. Jim Montgomery comfortable with alternating goaltenders. Lindholm's shot went off the pad of Samsonov. Final minute here in the second period, just as there was a bump over the far side of the wall. Held at the near wall, half side by Lindholm, and no shot. This one goes all the way down over to Swayman. And the Leafs successfully make some line changes. Lindholm's long pass was deflected up front. Brad Marchand swing the gap. Here he comes! He scores! Off the feet to David Pastrnak! The Leafs calling the line change! 3-0! Marchand heating up here on for this hot run. The line change did not work for Toronto as they were caught. Marchand splitting the gap and right by TJ Brody as he lifts it up. Way too far was Brody as he was away from the goal. So a lot of time and space through the middle of the ice, and Pastrnak basically gets a freebie. A rolling puck, and the pasta party begins in Boston. What a goal here for Brad Marchand, who have a big assist. That's a primary assist, and the fans booing now knowing that it's Marchand. No, and they're booing their home team. Pressure is now on the Leafs. It's basically the season on the line if they do. Now. Bruins sweep this one away. It's Lyubushkin, and it's loose in front, and the swat! And Samsonov, or Swayman rather, holding his zone, maintaining this shutout. It's flipped over to the swat. Bruins are comfortable running this clock out, and they're up to a 3-0 lead here in Game 4. Fans booing their team as they are down here. The season is on the line now. David Pastrnak with a second goal of this series. Second initial report plus the headlines among every team at this point in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I am Alec Nava. We'll be back with you shortly for the second initial report. Stay tuned. It's been all Boston in Game 2. Brad Marchand has just passed Cam Neely for the Bruins franchise record of playoff goals, 56-55. Many can say this number's going to be hung up in the rafters when it's all said and done for the Bruins. I'm Alec Novitz's second intermission report. 3-0 lead for the Bruins. It's been all them. It feels like if the Leafs do something wrong or do something right, no matter what happens, it leads to a Bruins goal. So second period goals coming from Brad Marchand, the power play. That was the goal that put him ahead of Neely. Charlie McAvoy and Charlie Coyle on the assists. David Pastrnak from Marchand and Pavel Zacha to get the Bruins up 3-0. Marchand chipping it right above TJ Brody, and overstick with Brody way outside of the net of where he's supposed to be. And as the period moves on, the second period, the Bruins locking down on the Leafs no matter where they are positioned. Ilya Samsonov turning away 14 of 17 shots. And if you're Sheldon Keefe, it's a time to put in Joseph Woll. So Samsonov has had some highlights, but his lowlights may be showing some here and then. Another time he's hot, another time he's cold. Jeremy Swayman maintaining a 16-save shutout. What a move by Marchand to get this puck above TJ Brody. Bad positioning by Brody's part. That's a smooth move by Marchand. Shots are 17-0. Bruins lead 3-0. Hits are 47-26 Toronto. The faceoffs won are 27-16 Toronto. Block shots 15-5 Boston. Takeaway 7-4 Toronto. Giveaways Toronto 4, Boston 2. The only giveaway of the second period, Toronto. So, and the total penalties, 3-all between both sides. The Bruins are 1-for-2 on the power play. So if we're looking at a round for the first 17 games of the Stanley Cup playoffs, for the Rangers to win the Stanley Cup, they have to win in a variety of ways. Tough defensive battles, shootouts, disjointed penalty-filled affairs with physicality is going. What's been impressive about the Rangers is that against the Capitals is the range. The Game 1 win saw them dominate 5-on-5. The 60-minute response to analytical skepticism about even strength play. The Game 2 win was a nasty affair where both teams scored twice on the power play, but the Rangers' PK scored the game winner. 11 different Rangers notched a point in the first two games, including all three members of their checking line. Coming to cult hero trios for a championship team of Jimmy Vesey, Barclay Goodrow, and a towering Matt Rempe. The Rangers won Game 3 by final score of 3-1. The Stars are down 2-0. How much have they struggled against the Vegas Golden Knights? Game 2's defeat marks 6 straight losses, and they've also lost 9 of their last 11 combined regular season and playoff games to the Golden Knights. Last year's Western Conference Finals saw the Stars fall into a 2-0 series hole after 2 overtime games. They fall into a 3-0 hole for winning 2 games to force Game 6, then suffering a season-ending loss in Game 6. Here they do this again. They must figure out how to recover quickly against the defending Stanley Cup champs. Pierre DeBoer said after Game 2 that he felt like the Knights carried the play last season. He believes both teams now are a lot more evenly matched. The season saw the Stars finish tied for a league-high 26 road wins. Tyler Seguin said the goal is to now get that success onto the road to something that can help them climb back to their series. The save of the year for Sergei Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's an accomplished regular season goaltender. 2 Vezina trophies to his credit. Good stats this season for the Panthers. But in the postseason, he becomes playoff Bob, who can turn magical against the Bolts, and he had the most remarkable saves of this or any postseason. Robbing Matt Dumba blind with his back facing the Bolts defenseman, left arm extended to allow the puck to bounce off his forehand to keep the game tied. The Panthers won this game in overtime to take a 2-0 series lead. Now they're 4 games down in the series. It's a 3-1 series lead for the Panthers still. The Panthers winning Game 3, the Bolts winning Game 4. But this is the kind of save that goes viral. And this is the kind of save that's already inspired a t-shirt featuring him stretching across the crease towards the bobbery above it. The kind of save that Paul Maurice believes can inspire young fans to take up this crease, to get themselves into hockey. And the Lightning have their hands full of their state rivals for a lot of reasons. He has a 1.95 goals against average, playing behind the Panthers' league best team defense. We have the curious case of William Nylander for the Leafs. But there's no doubt his absence is having an effect on the Leafs. He tends to come alive in the playoffs, and Toronto's usually potent offensive attack has been dulled without him in the mix. Credit to Boston there as well. The Bruins have been stingy offering scoring opportunities. Then there's the trickle-down effect for the rest of the lineup without him available. From getting Matt Nyes onto the second line to keeping Nick Robertson a healthy scratch on a number of occasions during the season on the third line. The lack of experience doesn't give Toronto the same advantage having Nylander on the ice would offer. The listless power play will benefit from a Nylander boost. Toronto entered Game 3 having gone 1 for 6 with the extra man, and the Leafs immediately added to their own disappointment 5 scoreless power plays and Game 3 outing. Timothy Liljegren is no replacement for what Nylander does. The Leafs need him back, and he is back, and so far is having no effect. The Game 2 performance of the Colorado Avalanche will be a breakthrough or blip. Well, if Game 3 is any indication, it was a breakthrough, scoring 5 goals in the third period after they were trailing 2-1 entering the third. A first period deficit overcome. A second period where the Avs scored 4 goals on 4 different players. Solid performance from Alexander Georgiev stopping 28 to 30 shots he faced just days after he allowed 7 goals in a Game 1 loss. All that leading to a 5-2 Avs win, tying their series. Now they have a 2-1 series lead. Part of the narrative entering the series was how the Jets were 3-0 against the Avs in the regular season, outscoring them by a 7-4 margin. That includes a 7-0 loss back on April 13th, which was a cause for concern in Colorado. That's what made Game 1 fascinating. On the one hand, the Avs scored more goals in one game against the Jets than they did in 3 games in the regular season. On the other, the Jets scored 7 goals for a second straight game against Colorado. Does Game 2 mean the Avs have found an answer? Or at least close to finding an answer against the Jets? Or was it an outlier against the Jets team that might strike back with an offensive outburst later down the stretch? It points towards the former, but the Jets are no slouches. The Lightning's depth is also due to shine. If there's one thing that's helped them drive the success in recent seasons, it's depth. But they aren't repeating the rewards on a deep roster yet in their series against the Florida Panthers. Yet. They're 1-3 hole after scoring 4 goals in the first 2 games and only 2 at 5-on-5 through 2 games. A pair from Steven Stamkos, 1 from Brandon Hagel, and another from Braden Point. They've looked top-heavy, and that's not necessarily a recipe for success when the Panthers have 3 lines that can do damage. If it weren't for the save by Bobrovsky in Game 2, this will be an even series. But as is, the Lightning will be desperate for offense of a series where they have yet to hold a lead. But they have done so in Game 4. But that's a tough pill to swallow. The Oilers are keeping their faith in Stuart Skinner. He and Cam Talbot were both not very good in Game 2, but Talbot made a few key saves in this Game 2 victory for the Kings. A breakaway stop on Ryan McLeod, and 2 big saves on Leon Draisaitl on a late second period power play. Skinner did not. No one expects Skinner to dominate in the postseason. With an .883 save percentage and a .368 GAA in 12 starts last postseason. He's a classic. You don't have to win a series, but you can lose a series goaltender on a contending team. The coach, Chris Knobloch nodded the game back in December 2023, where Skinner gave up 5 goals on 22 shots to the Bolts. He will go on to win 12 of his next 13 games, giving up only 1 goal in 6 of those wins. After the tie series, the Oilers won 6-1 in Game 3, and Skinner sounds like someone confident he can rebound for the Oilers, and that's been the case. The Preds have found a new playoff identity. They blocked 30 shots in their series-tying 4-1 win Tuesday against the Canucks. Just the latest example of the defensive identity that the Preds have established during Andrew Burnett's first season in charge. His time as the interim coach of the Panthers as an assistant with the Devils saw those teams score goals at a furious rate with Brunette behind the bench. While the Preds finished 12th in goals per game this season, there was also an emphasis on defense that Brunette preached through the season. And the message he relayed to Preds players was to operate as a 5-player unit that could evenly thrive in situations saw them play without the puck. Game 2 might be the strongest example of how the Preds found success without needing the puck. Getting away with those shots allowed to create less work for UC Saros, who stopped 17 of 18 that went his way. Also the first time this season that Saros finished a game with fewer than 20 saves that didn't involve him getting pulled. So the Leafs and the Bruins going to go back out there. The Islanders, have they learned their lesson? There's some positives that they can take for their 2 games, or 3 games, or 4 games actually. They played the Canes evenly for 2 periods in Game 1. But it's becoming gut check time. Game 2, I meant. They built a 3-0 lead in the first 23-54 of Game 2. They lost both games in the third period, and it's painful. It becomes gut check time heading into Game 5. They have swapped out Semyon on Varlamov for Ilya Sorokin. It didn't work out. Varlamov is back in. So we'll come back to you with the third period soon enough here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I am Alec Nava. Check back with you shortly. third period. And I know Leafs fans are not happy with what is turning out. And the last goal for the Bruins, that was after the Leafs clear. So the play gets flipped out all the way to the defensive zone, makes its way to Jeremy Swayman, who plays it out in front. It's a line change, but a bad time for a line change, it appeared, as the Bruins were going to catch them on the line change. Moved up as Pavel Zacha goes between the legs for this pass, knocked down, sacrificing himself. Brad Marchand catches TJ Brody on an island, flipping the puck to himself. And the Leafs players in disbelief. And the Leafs, they have swapped out Ilya Samsonov for Joseph Woll. Perhaps this may be the momentum shifter they need, because Woll may have the higher upside. So Woll, his first playoff experience came in the second period in the previous year. That was back in Game 3, where he had his first playoff game when Samsonov exited with an injury. Back deep is Mason Lohrei. Centers one up for Coyle. Coyle trying to get through on the feed for Marchand. Now a left side shot. And that one went wide. Now back all the way this goes, where it's recollected by McAvoy back deep. Swayman still in the net. He's been sharp for the Bruins. Lots of frustration on the bench here for Toronto. Perhaps it's a time for Woll to be the starter come Game 5. Puck is flipped over to the far side. Pastrnak making contact with one Leaf. Now it's knocked away several times. Pastrnak goes down. This is a 3-on-2 if the Leafs hurry. Now he's dropping back. Close stop just in time by Pavel Zacha. Now he's trying to send one over to the far side for Tavares. Now at the far side, over to Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin fires around. Nice can't get down low. Beat up by Lohrei. Moved up front. Skated out to center ice. Jake DeBrusk having this one poked away. Nylander back with this. Bruins all over that defensively. Lindholm gains one over to the far side. Van Riemsdyk waiting with it. Center up front for Frederick. Trent Frederick moving for the near side. Joe Edmondson watching closely with the stick in the lane. Now behind the net, they both fight for this loose puck. 90 seconds deep in the third period. Leafs need free. Danton Heinen tried to tuck it. Can't do so as Woll closes it off. That's all the way out. Too high for Carlo to glove this one down. Lindholm picks this one up away from Calle Jarnkrok, who stick lifts him. Now it's a loose puck, a battle for it. Still it's loose. Up for grabs. Trying to sweep this one away several times on both sides. It comes to Boston. Holmberg was in the middle of there. He was knocked down previously in the middle of that chaos. All the way down. Woll almost played this one behind the goal line. Had one skate just above it. Flipped in front. Sucked away from David Kampf. Kept in by Matt Nyes at the near corner. Nyes away from Beecher. Kampf rushing into it. Trying to poke this one to keep it in. Swept away to Maroon. Now it's fed over to the near side where Beecher driving down alongside McCabe. To their first was Kampf. Kampf was swept away by Boquist, who keeps his one down low. Still bouncing. Up for grabs. Boquist having trouble with it. Stripped loose by Kampf. Leafs once again have this as the Bruins go back to defend. Nice. A move on Marchand as he goes right back. Skating around looking for an open man. Marchand relentlessly in pursuit. And that was got away over to Domi. Nice now going over to end his shift to the benches. Picked back up by McAvoy right across. Back this goes over to Lohrei, who can't handle. Domi racing to it at the near corner. Trying to stick this one away from Lohrei. Down low this goes, and a feed over, right back to the high. Swats! This one rang off the pipe! Ilya Lyubushkin! It looked like it went inside, stayed out. He beat Swayman, but not the crossbar. That one did not get right by. Was so close to striking the back of the net. The crowd thought was in. Now it's a flip inside. It's Riley's the first two at the near corner. Behind the net as they both fight for this puck. Riley there, poke forward. Here's Pastrnak. Speed moving in. Opposite Benoit. He was slowed down. Pastrnak still in. Now around for the near corner. Jake DeBrusk sending it backwards over to Carlo. Around this goes. Leafs have it one more time. Benoit. Bruins back to defend. The Leafs trying to get one goal back. Here's Nick Robertson inside. Overskate the puck. Now it's over at the far corner. Bruins are over with DeBrusk. Held in by Toronto. Goes on to Swayman, who will leave it on for Carlo. He'll use the boards to get this one all the way down to Toronto ice, and the icing will be called with Lyubushkin catching up to this puck. It finds the middle of the ice, rang off the crossbar. Beats Swayman. The crowd thought this was in. Just did not eat the post. Just unlucky. That close. This puck was bouncing. It looked like it was going to go in. Ball starting to draw. Tavares tossed out. Nick Robertson inserted onto the line with Nylander and Tavares. Leafs fans waiting to celebrate a goal. This faceoff goes over to the far side. Bruins clear. Race for this puck, now picked up by Pasta. He moves in. Left circle. Skating back and forth. Goal stop by Edmondson. Bruins now back with this as Frederick keeps it down and in. Tavares now behind and Wall's crease. Tavares moves away from DeBrusk. At the near point, Toronto gets it out. All the way over to the red line. Picked back up by McAvoy. Tavares was chasing after it. Centered up front. And now moving up with this puck is Brad Marchand. Marchand around the boards. Banks it off to himself. Off the near corner. Toronto can't get this one out. Marchand was slowed down again. This time by Edmondson. Brody twisted around by Frederick, who gets to this puck. Frederick around the boards. This now goes over to Marchand in the near corner. Backhand around. Stick lifted. And back this goes where Brody trying to get this one through. Toronto trying to get this over in a hurry. Tap backwards to Brody. DJ Brody for the near boards. Up front is Nyes. At the left point. Starter stepping around. Triple team by Charlie McAvoy. And was forced out on this puck. 5:17 into this third period. Toronto trying to break even. Simon Benoit waiting for options as he's playing the waiting game. McKay flipping this forward. This one deflected out. Stoppage and play. 14:32 left in the third period. Yarncroke off to the benches. Tyler Bertuzzi is going to get out back there. So the Bruins have been the dominant team throughout the series, and it's been showing. The Leafs have only been ahead once when they took a 3-2 lead in Game 2 at TD Garden. That's the only game they've won thus far. The time leading for the Leafs, 12 minutes and 21 seconds. And as opposed to 276 minutes plus that the Bruins were leading. They have never trailed in this game. Marner going inside, center. Can't do so now. A long shot, no deflection. Curling drag on the backhand. He scores! Mitch Marner gets on the board. Leafs get one back. They need two more. Max Domi moving to the middle on this position. And with Mitch Marner making a sweet move right around patience, pace off. The initial shot was blocked, and with Marner going at the top, it was Tyler Bertuzzi setting up in front. Domi was at the side. Marner, who goes on his backhand, who fakes out Johnny Beecher and Jeremy Swayman for the easy goal. He gets the Leafs on the board. This goes off of Swayman's blocker. And the crowd is fired up for the first time tonight. There's one. They need two. Jake DeBrusk firing this one inside. Chasing after it now is Lyubushkin, who shoves away DeBrusk. It's right behind Wall's crease. Now picked up by Marner on the feed. Bertuzzi to his right. Marner at the left wing side. Marner banked this one off a Bruin. Bertuzzi gets shoved away. Austin Matthews to the far side. Tavares gets swept away. And it goes all the way out. Partial break here for Jake DeBrusk. DeBrusk knocked down. And it was poked away from the stick. The crowd likes that. No one knows a clean defensive play. Toronto moves inside. Here's Tyler Bertuzzi. Half wall far side. He keeps. Initial shot was blocked. Now to the inside. Swayman stay with it. Now it's Brad Marchand, the captain, loose in edge. And Toronto picks it back up at their own zone. Benoit backwards to McCabe. 5 left shot defensemen for the Leafs. Benoit cut off by Coyle. Moving backwards over to Nylander. Leafs trying to go back with this up through the ice. Waiting at center ice. Across for the red line. Go Leafs, go chance back on the ice here. Nick Robertson at the far corner. McAvoy now picks it up away from Tavares. Back for Coyle, this is going towards Benoit, taps it backwards. Martin with his first, Ilya Lyubushkin, the lone assist. McCabe. Up this goes. Robertson waiting. Still waiting as he goes backwards. JVR in on him. Up front for Kemp as there are more line changes. David Kemp splitting the gap. Now goes inside. One-timer. This is lifted up high by Calle Yarncroke. Brandon Carlo on his face. 12:30 to go in this third period. Mitch Marner, sweet goal as he outweighted Jeremy Swayman and Beckett off his blocker and in. Stanley Cup playoffs will resume momentarily. Joe Sacco, the Bruins assistant head coach, preaching defensive excellence, and they're doing so here. So as we're coming forward, Austin Matthews has been dealing with an injury. He was stung previously. He will not return tonight. So more double shifting for John Tavares. So now, with Matthews out of the equation, the Leafs are down to 11 forwards. Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi, now 2/3 of the first line back out there. But they still have to go without their top line center. Matthews, who scored 70 goals combined between regular season and playoffs. Flip down low off the board. Swayman tapping this aside. Over to Carlo, now down deep for Pasternak. Pasternak waiting for room. 3-on-2 developing. Left side, tic-tac-toe. Zanka! And a save made by Joe Woll. 11:43 to go in the third. Odd man rush for the Bruins as it's developing. There are numbers on the way. And Pasternak finding the open man over to his left side for DeBrusque. And the one-timer by Zacha. The passing lane was open up right behind over to Zacha. They tried to go short side on Woll. Woll got back on time. He made sure there was no rebound on the play. Leafs get it out. Just got over to McAvoy's stick. Charlie McAvoy gets this one down. Jake McCabe. Left side for Simon Benoit. Benoit jumps this one up. Was closed off on the half wall. Pasternak tried to get the lane away. Jake DeBrusque moving for the far side. This one missed the net. Did not go over to Joseph Woll. Benoit moves up. Nice. McAvoy's cut that passing lane off. Now it's loose at the neutral zone. Nice. Pick this one up. Swept it backwards all the way to the Leafs zone. No Matthews for Toronto. He's not going to return tonight. David Kemp moving up for the near side. Trying to split the gap. And bouncing it right deep. Up against Kevin Shattenkirk, picked up by Nick Robertson. Back over to the point. Late man is Kalyanko. Gets a shot away. Was turned away by Swayman. Nice hold by TJ Brody. Get this one down low. There was nobody behind the net. Bruins trying to get this one out. Just right by through several Leaf players. But they ice it with 10:42. Brody gets this one back up. So that's this current moment. Well, they're in the fourth quarter between the Lakers and the Nuggets. 93-80. The Lakers lead and maintain their halftime lead. Max Domi centering the line between Mitch Marner and Tyler Bertuzzi. Marner getting double shifted. Domi lost the faceoff. It goes to Boston. Boston trying to clear is held in by Riley. Around the boards, Bertuzzi there jumping there first. Shattenkirk also in the way, gets it away from Domi. Van Riemsdyk gets it out. Jesper Boquist moving up through the far side. Morgan Riley shoving him away. Ilya Labushkin also there, deflected several times. Domi getting this one backwards. Labushkin trying to keep away from Marchand. Does so. Sent up front. Morgan Riley free on the entry. Tyler Bertuzzi. A second shot was blocked. Morgan Geekie was there. At the near corner, they both battled for this. Marner now picks this one up. Trying to go up in front. Instead goes right behind. Centered out in front. And Domi ran out of room to shoot this one as Swayman took away all the room. Morgan Riley. That was turned away by Swayman. A third clearing attempt up in the air. Settled down to left circle. And finally it's out for Boston. All the way back is Joel Edmondson. Edmondson fires this deep. Moving to Nylander as he twists and turns around. Go to the right side. Splitting the gap. Nylander trying to get this down low. Bouncing it onto himself. Centering pass up front. That one was wide. And a second shot was stopped by Swayman. The rebound loose in front. Toronto gets to it. Joe Edmondson. Oh, this one goes wide. Swayman trying to get back to this just in time. Nice on the keep. Goes down low. And a centering pass up front. One-timer. Another save by Swayman. And the takedown afterwards. A penalty against William Nylander. Jake DeBrusk had no stick as well. And that was totally uncalled for by Nylander. Nylander pulled him down, and Lee Stan should be saying, why? Why? 2 for holding on Nylander. Edmondson getting robbed by Swayman, and no stick for DeBrusk. And then another save by Swayman on William Nylander. Right there as Nylander just judo flipped DeBrusk. Totally uncalled for. The outstretched arm picking this one up. We'll be back in just a moment with the Bruins back to the power play. Stay tuned. The decision to put I had to restart because I was muted on Space's side. The decision to put in Jeremy Swayman back in net has paid off for the Boston Bruins as he has turned away virtually almost every shot. The Bruins back on the power play. The Leafs are outshooting the Bruins 24-17, but the Bruins, the first 3 goals has led them to this point. Swayman 23-24. And Linus Ullmark is sitting over the backup goalie chair. Charlie McAvoy walking the point, long shot but deflected up high and above the net. Near corner, they're both battling for this puck. Pastrnak and DeBrusk there for the Bruins, Camp and Edmondson for the Leafs. It goes to Brody off the stick lift from Edmondson. Another puck battle at the far half wall is kept in by Boston. That center pass right in front, DeBrusk, 2 whacks at it. Wall made 2 saves. Now back behind this goes is DeBrusk around Edmondson, back out for Pastrnak. David Pastrnak bumped up to this first unit. Wall poked that one aside. Coyle out in front. And Wall shut that one down too. 40 seconds deep. The Leafs clear it all the way down. Swayman will handle this one behind. Strangely enough, the Boston Bruins are the only original 6 team to have not retired the number 1 jersey. The Blackhawks, Rangers, Canadiens, Maple Leafs, and Red Wings have all retired the number 1. Here's Zacha, who hands off over the left side to JVR. Pastrnak! He couldn't see this one. Whoa, will hang on as he stopped this. 19th shot for the Bruins. They have gone free behind Samsonov. Wall in for the first time in the series. See if Sheldon Keefe goes to him in Game 5. And how will Sheldon Keefe answer if Austin Matthews is ruled out for Game 5? He will not return for the rest of the night. Jake DeBrusk turned away in tight. Morgan Geekie on the faceoff dot. He has Pavel Zacha. This is a strong side for Geekie to take the faceoff. Functions both as a centerman and as a winger. Leafs get it out. Right by Shattenkirk. Andrew Peeke was injured in Game 2. And he is questionable to return for the series. Kevin Shattenkirk, left side, inside. Lohrei trying to get this one down low. The Leafs clear. Once again. All the way back for Jeremy Swayman. Playing this one out. Leafs almost took it away. Kevin Shattenkirk fired around for the near side. Going to the far side. Lyubushkin getting to this puck first. JVR keeping this one in. But it goes back to the Leafs. 20 left on the power play. Toronto clears it down. 16 seconds on the man advantage as Swayman will handle this one behind. 7:24 in the period. Boquist sets up with this. 7 seconds until Nylander is back out there. 5 seconds of 4. Boquist is speed for the far side of the wall. Now around this goes Boquist setting up in front. No shot there. Lindholm flips this one down. Power play over. Nylander is back out there. Set up pass over to Nylander, who is fresh in the box. He'll instead go over and skate around. Edmondson serving for options. Around this goes. Nylander still out there. Moved up through the near side. This one deflected inside. Tavares flips this one to himself. This trickles right by him. Now foot race for the puck. Lyubushkin getting in on Coyle. Gets shut away. No breakout for Morgan Geekie. Excellent defense by the Leafs. 6:40 to go. Nylander soccered it to himself. Off a skate blade and dropping back for Lyubushkin. Now Riley. Back for Lyubushkin. Banks this one off the boards. No illegal entry as this was a delayed offside against Toronto. Boston gets it out. Marchand gets the cross-ice feed over to McAvoy. Taps it forward. 6:20 to go. Wall plays it out. McCabe moves this one forward for the far side. DeBrusk there right on him. Moved inside by Riley. Foot race for the puck. Bruins get it out once again. McCabe flips this one inside. Wotherspoon gloves it down. Toronto gets this one to the other side. Now here's a quick shot by Boston. That was Pastrnak at the left circle. DeBrusk, he took down Simon Benoit. A penalty will come up. The referee's arm is up in the air. Joseph Wall is going to go to the bench. So Wall's going to go to the bench. So is Benoit. He gets banged up. Domi right behind, waiting around as this one is touched up by Charlie McAvoy. Toronto can certainly use a power play goal. Benoit is at the bench. He is banged up. 5:43 remains in regulation. The Leafs need 2 goals. They can get one of them here. DeBrusk, 2 for cross-checking. And the Leafs will go to the power play when we come back. So we get something at the same time. David Pastrnak for slashing. Jake DeBrusk 2 for holding. So at the least pursuing that puck alongside the Bruins. Trying to get this one back. So Pastrnak 2 for slashing on Simon Benoit. So DeBrusk is not going to go to the box. A big chance for the Leafs to get something going here. 5:43 to go here in the third period. It's a 5-on-4 power play, not a 5-on-3. Tavares, Nylander, Marner, Riley, and Domi on the ice. No Austin Matthews. The Leafs have got 1 for 13 on the series. Joseph Woll will play this one out. Right behind, it'll go to Riley. Morgan Riley leading the rush. Trying to move this one aside. John Tavares moving this through. Max Domi. No Matthews on this power play. Offside. It goes there as a result. Had the right idea to get her to speed up. Just a bad execution. That's what it's all about. And it's a same song and refrain there for Toronto. They've been a step behind the Bruins mostly for most of this series. And the last four series. Toronto is 0 for 2 on the night. On the power play, Boston is 1 for 3 on the night. The power play, normally Toronto is red hot. They're 1 for 13. Boston is 6 for 13, conversely. Morgan Riley dropping back. Mitch Marner leading the way for the center. Sick lifting his way onto the left side. Marner trying to split the gap. Good defense right there. Domi recollecting right behind the net. Domi sticking inside for Marner. Marner in front. Tavares can't get the shot away. Bruins square this one out right by Riley. All the way down as Wall will play this. 1:10 to go on the power play. Riley waiting. Dropping back over to Nylander. William Nylander leading the way up for center. Nylander to the left side for Tavares. Tavares. Right back this goes. All the way to the bumper. This goes all the way out. Riley was not there on time. 55 seconds. Now back on the straightaway. In comes Nylander. Left side is Tavares. Fires this one around for the near boards. Now picked back up by McAvoy. The referee had to crouch just as this puck was coming all the way down. Joseph Woll plays this one out. Fans angrily booing their own team as they won a goal. Tyler Bertuzzi has been credited with the secondary assist on the Mitch Marner goal. Nick Robertson moves around. Matt Nyes is there holding his Jake McCabe. McCabe through the far point. Now the swat is a shot by Yarncroke that missed everyone. Nick Robertson with 20 on the power play. Out in front, Yarncroke trying to switch this away. Jake DeBrusk clears. 15 on the man of edge. Less than 4 minutes to go. Wall. Deep pass over to McCabe. McCabe waiting with 10. Waiting still for options. A drop pass to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi chooses the wide side. Deflected inside by Robertson, and the Bruins get this one out. The Leafs power play a measly 1 for 14. No shots on the power play this time around. This is textbook penalty killing. Anytime now, Wall may be coming out soon enough. Hampus Lindholm can't clear this one out. It's just kept in by Nylander. It's down low. Ryan Reeves there. Pontus Holmberg sweeps it over to the point for Brody. One-timer on the way. Nice block in front. That was Trent Frederick. Now a 3-on-2 develops. David Pastrnak at the far side. He fakes out one of the defenders of the Leafs. Trent Frederick shoved towards the wall by Kempf. Frederick plays this one out. Here's Beecher. All the way back for McAvoy. Right point. Waits for options. Now at the left side. Wotherspoon. Down low. Past Pastrnak and on for Frederick. Turned around by Edmondson. First to this puck is Kempf. Less than 3 minutes to go. Does Joseph Woll get pulled? Pontus Holmberg tied up, trying to feed this one back. Does so for Edmondson. Joe Edmondson. Gained a reputation as a defensive defenseman. Edmondson still waiting for options. Leafs fans are anxious. They want to have the Leafs hurry up. This one gloved down by John Tavares. Tavares! And the near side shot is turned away by Swayman. It's loose behind the net. 6 attackers are out onto the ice. Wallace and the benches. Bruins trying to get the empty netter. Can't do so for this moment. 6-on-5 here. Quick shot. Was fired wide. 2:18 to go. Fire back to the point. Here's Tavares walking around. Out of the right side. Riley around for Marner. Mitch Marner at the high side. Tyler Bertuzzi. Wide one up. That's a save by Swayman. Bertuzzi keeps it in for the moment. Marchand using the boards to clear this one out. Riley poked this one over to Bertuzzi. 2 minutes to go here in regulation. Leafs need 2. Drop pass over to Marner as he leads the way. Straightaway pass. This deflect on to Pasternak. He's trying to get the empty netter. Glove down. Now back inside. Quickly over to Nylander. Nylander waiting. Now drop pass. Riley shot. It's a soft shot. Bruins can't clear. Held in by Domi. Nylander right back. Tic-tac-toe between him and Domi. Here's Marner walking the point. Long shot blocked off. Several times it's swiped towards there. The Bruins trying to get this one onto the empty net. And it's going on the way wide. Pasternak almost had it. And we'll have an offensive zone face-off with 1:31. Does Sheldon Keefe use his timeout? Puck drop for Stars and Golden Knights at 10:55 Eastern. 7:55 Pacific. 1:31 remains. Keefe is using his timeout. Trying to get two quickly. So the timeout called here. As on the playoff bracket we go. So game 4 is completing. Carolina leads the series to the Islanders 3-1. Florida 3-1. The Rangers 3-0. Those are potential closeout games in their next games. The Hurricanes going back to PNC Arena after the Islanders defeated them in double overtime. The Hurricanes have only won once in playoff games going at least double overtime. That came in Game 7 of their 2019 Eastern Conference quarterfinal series against the Washington Capitals. The goal scored by Brock McGinn, who is now with the Anaheim Ducks organization. Will there be a spark from the Leafs here? They get 2 to tie this one up. That's the goal that Toronto needs here. Bertuzzi out there. Mitch Marner out there. John Tavares out there. Morgan Riley out there. Max Domi out there. Off the draws, a loose puck picked up by Boston. This one floating over to the empty net. A foot race for the puck. Not enough for an icing. Marner now picks this one up with 1:21. Starting fakes up in a hurry. Will Marner get 2 for his Leafs? John Tavares. Intended for Marner. Lindholm was the first to this puck. Tavares stick lifts. Off for Domi. Trying to pass it out. William Nylander loads up. That's blocked. Rushing to it is Brad Marchand. Uses the boards to get this one out. It's not enough for an icing. 1:01 to go here. Final minute of the third period. Leafs need 2 quickly. Morgan Riley for the far side. Back inside comes Domi. Inside to Morgan Riley. Cut away there. Dancing high and there. Cleared out. This may have been play of a high stick. Mitch Marner racing after this puck. And the energy here is taken out from this Toronto crowd. 40 seconds to go as Nylander walks back in. John Tavares trying to push the pace. Now behind beside Bertuzzi, swept away by Swayman and one other Bruin. Domi shot is blocked. 27. Waiting there. No shot in front. It's shot deflected in front. Marchand using the boards. And this is going to go to the empty net. Will it? Just wide. 18.6. This may not be enough for a goal. Or 2. Brad Marchand is the heart and soul of the Boston Bruins and is shown over time. A player that has put his heart and his dedication to the game year in and year out. The Bruins looking to pull off the Virginia Cavaliers ending and the Tampa Bay Lightning ending and winning the Stanley Cup this year after being embarrassed in the first round. Leafs fans starting to exit the crowd. Bruins fans win the face-off. They can run this one out for the most part. And next game may be must win for the Leafs to keep their season alive. David Pasternak is going to get right by, trying to seal this one up. He has effectively run out the clock. Leafs fans booing their team, knowing that they're in a must-win situation in their next game. 3-1 the final score at Scotiabank Arena. Though Mitch Marner had the only goal in the third period, Jeremy Swayman stood tall, turning away 25 of 26 Maple Leaf shots. That is all. The Bruins up to a 3-1 lead in the series, just like 2013, just like 2018. However, unlike those two series, the Bruins want to close it off in 5 instead of seeing this series go to 7 games. James Van Riemsdyk, Brad Marchand, David Pasternak, the goals for the Bruins. Mitch Marner, the lone goal for the Leafs. Final team stats. Here in this game, the shots 26-22 for the Leafs, 62-34 the hits for the Leafs. They have also won 35 of the 56 faceoffs. 26-5 the block shots advantage. That was crucial for the Bruins win. Takeaways 9-7 Toronto. The giveaways 6-3. The Leafs lead that category, not a category they want to lead. That is all from Toronto. Boston wins 3-1. They lead the series 3-1. I'm Alec Nava saying so long from the 6. Good night, everyone.